seriously. Yeah, there's a kind of a feeling between these two clubs, and comes at this time of the season, they're going to have a dig at each other. There's nothing to lose. I think they should just slug it out, and I suspect they will. And I mean in a football way.
Well, the last 5 meetings here have all ended 1-1, and we'll just see whether that sequence can be extended, because the last time that the exact fixture was drawn 6 games on the spin was between 1986 and 2000, Charlton at home to Coventry City, but never by the same scoreline. So we're underway. Brighton and Hove Albion, all in yellow, playing from left to right as we look. They're attacking the Holmesdale Road end of the ground, and Crystal Palace in their red and royal blue striped shirts, and the two teams. Henderson in goal for Palace, Lerma, Gehi and Lacroix, the three at the back, with Munoz and Mitchell as the wing-backs, Wharton, Kamada the only change, incidentally, coming in for Klein, Sarr, Mateta and Eza. As for Brighton, well, they've actually made 4 changes. O'Reilly, Minter, Welbeck and Baleba coming into the team, as Dunk with a back pass was a little skewed, and it required Verbruggen on his 50th Premier League appearance to put the ball out of play over on that far side. As this is Wharton looking for Mateta, makes the run in behind and shoots, and a lot of the Palace supporters here in front of us in the main stand thought that had actually gone in, but it hit the side netting and went behind for a goal kick. So it remains 0-0. But there has been an early goal at Valley Parade in League 2. Naz Premji.
Bradford City 1, Crewe Alexandra 0. The initial shot hit the post, the ricochet fell to Bobby Poynton, who couldn't miss in about 30 seconds. Bradford City 1, Crewe Alexandra 0.
And that could take Bradford City top of League 2 after the results earlier. Cheltenham 0, Doncaster 2, Walsall temporarily deposed at the top by Port Vale, but Port Vale themselves could be replaced by Bradford with that scoreline, and Tranmere did their survival hopes the power of good, beating Chesterfield by 4-0. Salford City 0, Gillingham 1 is another latest score in League 2. So that Brighton team, which I haven't given you as yet because of the team news, the goals elsewhere: Verbruggen, Hinchelwood, Dunk, Van Hecke and Estepinian, Minte, Gomez, Baleba, O'Reilly, Matoma and Welbeck. As Crystal Palace with Eza, forward ball to Mateta. Mateta gets it up with his feet and scores. He took it so well. Only one thing on his mind, left-footed. It was arcing away from Verbruggen, and Mateta takes his tally to a sweet 16.
Phenomenal finish. We're directly behind it here. He's looked dangerous already. Got in behind the defence a couple of times. Dunk looked a little bit sloppy beforehand, but this time takes one touch out his feet. He's going away from the goal slightly, but as you say, he doesn't think of anything else, catches it with his left foot, and it is sweet into the top corner. I think they are going to slug it out today.
Well, when I mentioned that sequence of the last 5 ending 1-1 here, Palace have taken the lead in 3 of those 5, but that really is a moment that they are celebrating wildly all around Selhurst Park of the Crystal Palace supporters. And Mateta has now 20 goals in 24 starts here at Selhurst Park under Oliver Glasner. Exeter City 0, Stockport County 1 is the latest score in League 1, and Dundee leads St Mirren by 1-0 in the Scottish Premiership. And there's been there's been a sending off rather at St Andrews in League 1. Tom Gale.
Birmingham 0, Barnsley 0, visitors down to 10, ball over the top, perfect touch by Keshi Anderson, he's in, he's taken out by Dujavigny, the Frenchman shown a straight red in the 2nd minute. It's Birmingham 0, Barnsley 0.
And with the results earlier, Wickham losing at Reading by 1-0. A win today for Birmingham now against the 10 men of Barnsley. They can clinch promotion on Tuesday at Peterborough. Wrexham, incidentally, unbeaten now in 5 after beating Burton by 3-0. Brighton coming forward. O'Reilly out to this near side. This is Minter to Baleba. Forward ball. Back with the Baleba once again. He goes to ground. The referee, Anthony Taylor, says no free kick. Estepinian will have a shot, and it's cleared away by Gehi for Crystal Palace, headed back by Dunk. As we welcome listeners to the BBC World Service wherever you are in the world, a pleasure to have your company this Saturday afternoon. We've got the football on Sports Extra and the World Service, but for 5 Live, just for a bit of housekeeping, at 4 o'clock you will hear the Grand National from 4 with John Hunt and the team at Aintree. And incidentally, we're going back to Aintree in a moment to listen to the Liverpool hurdle, which was due off at 3:05. But for Sports Extra and the World Service, you'll get the football service uninterrupted. We will, of course, have an eye on the National, as you'd expect, Pat.
Yeah, the National, let's hope it's no false starts. And I'll tell you what, Brighton have had a false start, haven't they? They've really not been up for it at the start of this game. And we were talking before the game about sometimes with Brighton, you know, there was 7-0 defeat a few weeks ago against Forest, 3-0 the other week there. They need to be up for it for these sort of games, or they can find themselves in a really bad position.
Well, they still technically could qualify for Europe for next season. I mean, if it goes to 8th, you know, that has got to be their aim, to make sure that the season doesn't peter out for Brighton and Hove Albion. Matoma on that far side, the left, tries to come inside, but dispossessing him was Sarr. And for the benefit of the World Service, you've just missed out on that goal, as Brighton now look for an equaliser, an early cross from the left-hand side, but scooped up by the England international Dean Henderson. So yes, Mateta taking his tally to 16 for the season, and no other goals elsewhere. Pat?
But it looked very good before he even scored the goal. He's so strong, he's so big, but he's got real confidence about everything he does, and every time he gets the ball, he wants to turn and go for goal. And I'm just surprised it took him the few minutes that it did to score that goal, because before that it looked great too.
He'd had that warning, hadn't he, just before, when it got him behind.
I mean, Dunk's come in, and Webster obviously out just now. And you have to have 2 centre-backs very, very close to the centre-forward when he's in that sort of form. And they just give him far too much space on that occasion.
Minter running forward on this near side, the right. Mitchell, though, dispossessed him, helped out by Gahey. He goes short and square. Kamada to the shortly cropped hair of Wharton, slides into the challenge. Actually just caught Maleva there, and the referee has penalised Wharton. I think the referee's saying that the studs were showing.
I think that might be something got to do with what happened to Liverpool-Everton the other night. The referees are a little bit panicked by that, because I mean, it was Tarkowski's, it should have been a sending off. So the referees have been very, very certain about that now, because it was a mistake, and of course they were fronted up by it, weren't they? Yes. So immediately makes that decision there, and in reality it was a perfectly one tackle, wasn't it?
It was.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No. Anthony Taylor, though, as Pat quite rightly says, giving that free kick to Brighton and Hove Albion, who are trailing by a goal to 0, 7.5 minutes in. Salford City 1, Gillingham 1 is the latest score in League 2. So this is midway through the Brighton half, about 10 yards in from the right touchline.
Brighton are doing the Arsenal set-up for the free kicks, aren't they?
They've got the
run through an offside position.
Dunk, Van Hecke, that's where it's aimed towards, that quartet of Brighton players. The view is never the best here at Selhurst Park anyway, as we are right at the halfway line, as the cross comes in, and you have to deal with a stanchion at both ends of the ground. And then, in their wisdom, although I'm told it's only a temporary measure, they have put 5 giant speakers, which further hinder our view.
I think they might not have realised that. You know, they're sticking them up thinking, what's the best place for the sound? And the weird thing is, brand new speakers, fantastic, we don't need them here.
You certainly don't. Long clearance by Henderson, he finds Eza brings it down and almost gets a second. Inside left channel of the penalty area, let the ball settle, got it onto his left boot, and it went across the face of goal. And in fact, it must have got a touch on its way through from Verbruggen, because the referee has said it's a corner kick.
I was going to say, when you get 1-on-1 Eza against Van Hecke, you think he's in trouble, Van Hecke, but then that's the point where Eza against anyone, 1-on-1, any defender at all, he usually gets past him and gets his shot away. And I think the goalkeeper, yes, does get a little touch there, so it is a corner kick. You cannot leave Eza 1-on-1. If they do that, he will score or create something.
So this corner kick is going to come in from the right-hand side. In it comes now, crowded penalty area, in swing, a scramble at the near post, and did the ball go out of play? No, it's been kept in play by Munoz, back towards Wharton, and then gathered in by Verbruggen. And Crystal Palace are still leading by a goal to 0, as we'll check in on the Rugby League, the Challenge Cup, with Sharon Shortle.
2 tries in 3 minutes for Hull KR. Joe Burgess, the latest to get on the score sheet. A kick through from Rovers, bounced in space. He scooped it up and scored underneath the post for Jez Litton to convert. After 34 minutes gone of this first half, it's Hull FC 0, Hull KR 12.
And that you can watch on BBC One with the on the television. There's been a goal at Preston. Katie Smith.
And it's gone to the home side. Preston 1, Stoke 0. Kane Kessler-Hayden on loan from Aston Villa. Intricate work into the box on the right-hand side. I think Emil Rees might have just got the final touch. Preston 1, Stoke 0.
Preston unbeaten in 12 previous games at home at Deepdale. We're going racing now. Back to Aintree, the Liverpool hurdle in the company of John Hunt.
Turning for home here, Ian, and 3 left to jump. Top class race this, 3 in line for the lead, including last year's winner, Strong Leader, alongside Chitara, Monmural there as well. Many challenges in behind though, including into 4th place, Hidden Valley Lake, and on the outside, Gwenny May Boy, favourite Kitzbühel, who stumbled near the winning line on the first circuit, is next, but with work to do. Home by the lead, very disappointing, is completely tailed off. 4 of them have gone clear. Strong Leader's been headed, looks in trouble, and Hidden Valley Lake is now out in front from Chitara in 2nd place. Strong Leader in 3rd, wandering around a little bit, 3 or 4 lengths away from them. They're over the last. In 4th is Monmural, who weakens. Kitzbühel's got nothing at all, well beaten in 6th, coming home at wide intervals here. Hidden Valley Lake is out in front by 2 to 3 lengths from Strong Leader, who's rallying late on, but not enough. Hidden Valley Lake is the winner, and winner for Henry de Bromhead with 2 runners in the National in an hour's time. Strong Leader came home next. Chitara finished in 3rd place. So there we are. Manila Indo, a great chance for Henry de Bromhead in the Grand National. I wonder if that's on your shortlist, Ian?
It is actually. Thank you, John. Yes, and we'll look forward to hearing you call the Grand National at 4 o'clock. The big race off at 4, but you'll get all the build-up to the big race at once we've finished here in the football at Selhurst Park, where it remains Crystal Palace 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. To Portman Road, Pat Murphy.
0-0 here. Wolves have started well. Larson, right foot, the first chance, blocked by the legs of the keeper, Palmer, for a corner. From the corner, João Gomez on target, but deflected for a second corner. Ipswich 0, Wolves 0.
Rangers 0, Hibs 1 is the scoreline at Ibrox. And there are no other goals to tell you about up and down the country at this stage. Mitchell skies his clearance from inside his penalty area, and then it drops. Mateta comes back, the goal scorer, to help out, and then Kamada will lift the ball out to this near side, the left, but it runs out for a throw. Pat Nevin.
After a very sluggish start, Brighton are better now, and they've calmed down, they've got their shape a little bit better. I think they were slightly surprised by the slight change in shape you got in that defensive area for Palace.
Hinchelwood drills over the cross from the right-hand side, and then it's fired back in. Very good save by Henderson. Loose ball. Henderson again makes the save on the rebound from Welbeck. It was Baleba who hit it, and it travelled so sweetly. It was pinged goalwards, but such a strong hand off his left
yeah,
wrist.
I mean, the angle it came from was quite unusual, and it wasn't an angle, but the keeper got down. But you're right, it's about the strength of the hand there. Couldn't really palm it past. And it was moving, definitely moving in the air. That actually looks like a good save. It's actually a great save.
And he was alert as well, was Henderson, to deal with the rebound. Corner kick then for Brighton, in swinger. Headed away by Sarr to Eza, collects it, edge of his own area, now tries to clip the ball out towards Munoz. Wharton is streaking through the midfield, but there was Verbruggen, who'd seen the move coming, and when that cross came in from the right, the Dutch keeper was out of his penalty area and cleared it away for Brighton, who...
They're better now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Much thbetter now. There's those two chances there before. Where were we at the racing with John Hunt there? Matoma had a little chance coming in from the left-hand side as well. So, yeah, they were sluggish. They were out of the box slowly, but they're better now. They're controlling the play and they're beginning to get chances as well.
This is a derby where Palace are still leading by a goal to 0. Van Hecker out towards that far side, finds Matoma on the left, level with the penalty area. Gomez has gone ahead of him, but he's offside. So it's a derby here in the football, and it's a whole derby in the rugby league. Sharon.
It certainly is, and Hull KR are really starting to take control. Jack Broadbent has scored for them now, a wonderful move that started around 30 metres out, going through numerous pairs of hands, leading to Broadbent getting the third try of the afternoon. Jez Litton again converting, not far off half-time now. It's Hull FC 0, Hull KR 18.
We've heard from Pat at Ipswich. Let's hear from John Southall at West Ham.
Whereas West Ham 0, Bournemouth 0, but one early chance, good chance as well to Bournemouth. Ouattara across from the left-hand side. There was Evan Nielsen with a header 7 yards out, wide of the right-hand post. Should have hit the target. West Ham 0, Bournemouth 0.
Salford City have come from behind in League Two. They now lead Gillingham by 2-1. Crystal Palace with Munoz heads it towards Sarr. His header finds Mateta. Tried to dink the ball back towards Sarr, who'd made that run down the right-hand side of the penalty area. But Brighton, all in yellow, clear the ball away. And then Palace forced back towards Henderson. Almost cut out there by O'Reilly, as Gahey will run forward, stops, does a little turn, and then towards Kamada, who drops in between the central defenders. And now it is with Lacroix as they go out wide towards Lerma. He's closed down, but he wins Palace a throw.
It's interesting to see Danny Welbeck there. I mean, if they play well, when Welbeck's playing, just get it on his feet. He holds the ball up as well as anyone else and brings other people into play. But he's trying to get his team to push up a little bit. He's dragging them, shouting them. He's doing it again, saying, come on, put a little bit of pressure on. I don't want to be the only person closing down here.
Palace with a slender lead. They're actually looking for their first league double since 1932-33 season in the old 3rd Division South against Brighton and Hove Albion. And that was when they were managed by Jack Tresidern, but it would be their first double in the top flight against their arch rivals. MK Dons 0, Barrow 1 is the latest score in League Two. Peterborough United 0, Northampton Town 1 is the latest in League One. And now half-time at Hull FC. Sharon Shortle.
And it's gone all the way of the red and whites in the first 40 tries from Tom Briscoe, Joe Burgess and Jack Broadbent, all converted by Jez Litton, means they're in command in this quarter-final. Hull FC 0, Hull KR 18.
O'Reilly passes the ball out to Hinchelwood on this near side, the right for Brighton, but Lacroix is standing in front of him. The blonde-haired figure of Van Hecke goes back out towards the Brighton right-back. Hinchelwood then slides it into the path of O'Reilly. Gahey tracks him. Mitchell comes across as well. Ball not kept in play. But in fact, the assistant referee says that it will be a throw to Brighton. But there's a goal at Portman Road. Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Ipswich Town and has been scored by Liam Delap. A deep cross headed over by Townsend, slipped in quickly, right foot. Ipswich 1, Wolves 0.
Remember, there was 9 points between the two. Wolves just outside the relegation zone. It will give Ipswich that little bit of hope.
Massive difference that will make. I mean, as I said, it's last chance to tell for Ipswich. But, 6 points. If you're in a dressing, you'll think you can go for a run. You can go and run. It's happened. You watch other teams doing it.
Wharton lifts it long. Mitchell gives chase. Sends over the first-time cross. Mateta skipped over the ball. Let it run through towards Sarr, but Brighton clear. 18 minutes played.
That was the least subtle dummy I think I've ever seen by a professional football by Mateta there. He jumped over it as if it was a high hurdle, but then again it's still a good dummy because centre forwards rarely dummy it. They want to go on the ball and have a shot themselves.
It's become much more even now, hasn't it, as a contest?
Yeah, and understandable that you go through phases, and if you're the away team, you're just trying to just put yourself, allow a little bit of pressure, just calm the opposition down, maybe shut up the fans a little bit. Thing is, that kind of worked against them completely there because they lost that early goal to Mateta's strike, and it lifted Palace for a wee while. But now, yeah, you're right, it's a much more even game.
That's Liam Delap's 12th goal of the season, incidentally, for Ipswich. West Ham, Bournemouth 0-0. Everton 1, Arsenal 1 is how it finished at Goodison. So Liverpool now need only 11 points from their remaining 8 games, and we will have commentary of their next fixture tomorrow as part of 5 Live Premier League Sunday. They're at Fulham. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff at Craven Cottage, and you'll hear that before the Manchester derby. United at City, 4:30. Brentford Chelsea is going to be on the website because Spurs Southampton is on Sports Extra, so you've got the choice of listening tomorrow. As here is Wharton, able to turn out towards Sarr on that far side in the brilliant sunshine, tries to link up with Munoz, then he was tripped. The referee looked to play the advantage and gives the free kick. Let's hear from the Rugby Union, Leinster Harlequins, James Burridge.
And Leinster off to a flyer, 12 points to 0, 18 minutes gone. Sam Prendergast with the first try in the right-hand corner, hitting the line at pace, followed up 2 minutes later by Joe McCarthy under the post. 12-0 to Leinster, 18 minutes gone.
This game is not only on 5 Live Sport and the World Service, it is also on Sports Extra, and later on Sports Extra we'll have rugby commentary for you. Montpellier against Gloucester at 5:30, to be followed by Glasgow against Leicester, which is at 8 o'clock. Stevenage lead Crawley Town by a goal to 0 in League One, and Charlton Athletic 0, Lincoln City 1 is a surprising scoreline at the Valley also in League One. Lincoln have lost their last 3 away from home, whereas Charlton have won their last 8 at the Valley, as that was a Lerma skied his clearance, and the header forward by Minter is a little bit misdirected, and it allows Gahey to tidy up back to Henderson, and Henderson should clear and does.
Yeah, just looking at Wharton in the midfield there, and everyone generally purring over the way he plays, and he's been really controlling that midfield. And I was just about to mention it, and he gave the ball away in a terrible position there, and it nearly led to a chance for Brighton there. If you are that deepest line midfielder and you're controlling the play, you cannot afford to give the ball away. He did, but he got lucky.
Van Hecke's ball out of defence, cut out by Gahey, slipped then by Mitchell. Minter has overrun it, Gahey dives in, wins the ball, Mitchell helps him out, Wharton scythed down by O'Reilly, and that was a clear free kick, and it'll be a free kick to Crystal Palace midway through their own half. They still lead 1-0.
I mean, it's some pitches just look a little bit tighter than others. There's not a lot of space out there, is there? Really close to, if you get the ball and you're one of the wide players particularly, if you get a one-on-one, you've got to use it. You're not going to get very many of them in this situation, because the players are closing down really quickly. They're double marking, particularly the likes of Eze and Matoma. So when you get an individual one-on-one, you've got to use it.
When Palace have scored first this season, they've only lost 1 of 13. They've won 9 and drawn 3. When they've conceded, in stark contrast, they've only won 1 of 14. So there'll be that early goal from Mateta for this derby fixture here at Selhurst Park, and Palace play the ball across the back, as now here it is Gahey midway through his own half towards Kamada. Gahey then towards Mateta, who just dropped deep. He was outside the centre circle, tries to keep it with Palace as he puts a foot into the challenge, and Mitchell on the stretch back towards Gahey and goes all the way back to Henderson, and we'll go back to Pat Murphy.
Still 1-0 for Ipswich, but they almost equalised. Wolves an in-swinging corner. How Totti missed it standing on the line is beyond me, but he was put off by some great defending by O'Shea. Ipswich 1, Wolves 0.
Thank you, Pat. 22 minutes in, you're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, and just think, in an hour's time, many might just be feeling sweet. That sweet success of nailing a Grand National winner. You'll hear it here from 4 o'clock.
It is an extraordinary sporting event, and it never gets dull.
Midway through the first half, Mitchell with the cross, swings it over from the left. The keeper's caught it, couldn't see it because of that speaker.
I know you don't like to complain about it, because we're here and we're in a nice position generally, but whoever put that up either has no consideration or is having a laugh. It's that bad I'm beginning to think it's the latter, because you just can't see the penalty spot or any players right in front of the goal.
When you say don't complain, I'll try not to keep harping on about it, but I will have a whinge when we next do the episode of the Commentator's View podcast. Exeter City 0, Stockport County 2 is a latest score in League One. Kilmarnock are leading Motherwell at Rugby Park by a goal to 0 in the Scottish Premiership. And at Ashton Gate, Hamish Marshall, you've seen a goal.
Indeed I have, because playoff chasing Bristol City lead Watford by a goal to 0. It's Ross McCrory who's got it. Watford lost it on the right hand side of the penalty area. Ball was squared, McCrory finished well. Bristol City 1, Watford 0.
Thanks, Hamish. Henderson catches the ball in the Crystal Palace goal. He holds on to it. He's all in green. He rolls it out now underarm towards Gahey. Kamada just tickles the ball on the inside then for Wharton, who goes direct and finds Sarr. And Sarr was clipped there. And is this going to result in a yellow card for Van Hecke?
Well, he's not, but I'm shocked. I'm really surprised. Look, there's not a lot in it, but Van Hekken knew exactly what he was doing there. He made sure he impeded him. He was in a phenomenal position, started running away there, impeded, went to ground and expected the yellow card, and shocked that it didn't come out right away. Is he reconsidering it, the referee? He is now.
Yeah.
He said no, he waved it away before, he absolutely did. He's given himself time to think, and he thought correctly eventually.
There was actually words exchanged between Oliver Glasner and the Brighton bench, as the applause in the background is for Faizan Mansouri. He was a passionate Crystal Palace fan. He attended matches with his uncle. He sadly has lost his life at the age of 24. So to commemorate him, there has been applause which is ringing around in the 24th minute here at Selhurst Park, as Van Hekken deals with that free kick by heading the ball away. Crystal Palace still lead by a goal to nil. 25 minutes played now. Plymouth are leading Norwich City by a goal to nil. Oh, what footwork that was. That will have Pat Nevin purring.
Oh yeah, can I see that again, please? I mean, it was utter twinkle toes. You know, he's gone past 3 or 4 players. Look, it doesn't lead to anything, but if you're a defender, you know that he's got that in his locker, and you're scared to death. That's why I say, if you're Eze, if you're Mitoma, when you get a one-on-one, you've got to use it, because on that occasion, that was brilliant skill, but he still had 4 players to beat. There's no space here for them.
Grimsby Town 1, Morecambe 0. That's not good news for Morecambe, especially after the Tranmere result earlier, beating Chesterfield 4-0. Grimsby looking to try and get into the playoffs, of course. Salford 2, Gillingham 2. Mentioned that Plymouth are ahead against Norwich. Carlisle United 0, Newport County 1. Just doesn't get any better for a Carlisle United supporter. Matoma from the left, looking for O'Reilly, cut out by Wharton. And Rotherham United are leading Blackpool by a goal to nil in League One. So Van Hekken, who was booked by our referee Anthony Taylor. You're listening to 5 Live, the World Service. We're also on the BBC Sounds app and on Sports Extra. And Motherwell now are down to 10 men as they trail at Killy. Kofi Barmer has been sent off.
It is intriguing watching there before. They're having a little competition, Eza and Matona. I mean, they couldn't be further away from each other on the pitch, playing for offensive teams, obviously, but both playing left wing, as it were. And every now and again, Matoma will get the ball and do that little beautiful trick he's got where you think he's going to go left and he goes right. He's done it 3 times in this game so far, and so far, really good defenders have looked utterly bemused and no idea what to do about it.
While you were talking there, Pat, I noticed that Teo Edun has been sent off for Peterborough United. And they're at Wembley next week against Birmingham City, so if he's been sent off for violent conduct, that will rule him out of playing in that EFL final against Birmingham next weekend for Peterborough. Baleba in the midfield for Brighton, who still trail by a goal to nil, and it goes from bad to worse for Carlisle United. Carlisle United 0, Newport County 2 is now a latest score from Brunton Park in League 2. Dunk left of the centre circle, finds Van Hekken, comes over the halfway line, hits a flat ball forward, looking towards Minter, who will get on to this, but didn't have the power, and it just bounced away off his left foot and was easily picked up by Dean Henderson. Ipswich Wolves, Pat Murphy. Oh, sorry, John Southall, West Ham.
West Ham 0, Bournemouth 0, just a bit short on quality at the moment. This game, Ian Evan Nielsen's header still the best chance for Bournemouth. West Ham dominating possession, but creating very little. West Ham 0, Bournemouth 0.
I could almost hear the panic in the studio there where I'd gone to the wrong reporter.
See, that's just because you've been watching Eze and you've been watching Matoma. You threw them a dummy. It was a cracker.
Thank you for that, Pat. Here is Estepinian on that far side, in front of the Arthur Waite stand, as the ball is back with Dunk. Now Van Hekken. Hinchelwood looking for O'Reilly, gets away from the sliding Kamada. Minter's touch though showed too much towards Gehi, but Brighton win it back. Here is O'Reilly once again, can't get past Lacroix, and O'Reilly has just caught Lacroix, who yelped and he's hobbling as he momentarily went to ground. But Brighton seeing a lot of the ball. There's been another goal at Ashton Gate. Hamish Marshall.
Bristol City have doubled their lead against Watford. They lead by 2-0. Naki Wells, the man on target. Controversy on the build-up here. The ball looked as if it had gone out on the right-hand touchline. Watford complaining vehemently. Linesman said it was in. Wells scored. Bristol City 2, Watford 0.
Morecambe have equalised at Grimsby. Grimsby 1, Morecambe 1. Bromley lead Accrington by 1-0. Accrington are still not safe. Tranmere actually overtook them in the league table with that handsome win over Chesterfield. And Plymouth Argyle have doubled their lead as well. Now they're bottom of the table. They were 7 points adrift, but they now lead Norwich City by 2-0 at Home Park. Let's get the latest betting for the Grand National from Rob Knopfman.
I am Maximus favourite, Ian at 7-1, Iroko well backed at 9-1. Then come Percival Le Gallois and Stumptown at 10-1, and the best backed outsider, 3-Card Bragg into 16-1.
Thank you, Rob. You'll hear the race on 5 Live Sport and BBC Sounds with John Hunt and the team. Van Hecker in the centre circle, forward ball. Baleba picks it up now for Brighton. The fullbacks are pushed on. Here is Hinchelwood. Infield now to O'Reilly. O'Reilly runs. Minter is out to his right. He sends it a great cross, and it's finished by Danny Welbeck. It really was such an inviting ball in, and Danny Welbeck pounced from close range, and Brighton Hove Albion are level. Crystal Palace 1, Brighton Hove Albion 1.
What a horrible ball to try and defend. But you've got Danny Welbeck, and every little bit of experience he's got was used there. He was second favourite to get that ball, but his timing of nicking in front of the centre half there was magnificent. Even before it reached him, you thought, if anyone's going to score that type of goal, it's Danny Welbeck, and he managed to do that. Superb nicking in front of him there.
Really was. His experience coming to the fore. He's been a substitute in 5 of the last 6 games, and that is his 9th goal of the season. And it's like Groundhog Day. Well, at Selhurst Park, it's 1-1.
Yeah, you knew it was going to be it. You mentioned it a couple of times beforehand, the 1-1. But it doesn't look as if it's going to finish 1-1, because there's been quite a lot of chances in this game. I have to say, after the poor start, I think Brighton have just got better and better, and they have been the brighter side. So 1-1, I would say that's a fair score for where we are right now after just over half an hour.
Very much so. Deserved equaliser for Brighton, whose supporters, bathing in the sunshine and that far side, are still celebrating that Welbeck equaliser 14 minutes before half-time. Ipswich 1, Wolves 0, West Ham 0, Bournemouth 0, as Lacroix out towards Gehi, short of the halfway line, passes the ball back. Match of the day, incidentally, tonight, BBC One at 10:20. Kamada passes the ball forward to Mateta, skies it out towards that far side, deliberately so, and then Lerma will let it roll out of play for a Crystal Palace throw. There's a penalty at Birmingham. Tom Gale.
Birmingham 0, Barnsley 0, penalty to the host. Keshi Anderson, the man brought down for the sending off, has also won a penalty, this time brought down by goalkeeper Kieran Flavell. Stood over the ball is their main marksman, Jay Stansfield, 21 across all competitions for the season. The referee's blown his whistle. He strides back, orange boots, right-footed, and he sends it into the bottom corner, cups his ear to the away support. Birmingham 1, Barnsley 0.
Birmingham City on the brink of promotion to the Championship after that defeat for Wycombe at Reading. And not a good day for Wycombe, now 6 points behind Wrexham. As a cross comes in from the left, cleared by Brighton. Wharton tries to head it forward, although they're 6 points behind Phil Parkinson's side. They still do have a game in hand. Wrexham 3-0 winners over Burton Albion. There's been a try in the Rugby Union. James Burridge.
It's relentless from Leinster. 19 points to 0 against Harlequins. 29 minutes gone. They're playing with such width. It's non-stop, keeping the ball alive. And Quinn's already tiring in defence. Despite everything they are trying, Leinster are just a better team right now. They lead by 19 points to 0.
I noticed that Real Madrid have fallen behind at home to Valencia this afternoon, and we will have commentary of the Champions League quarter-finals next Tuesday and Wednesday, and in fact the Europa League quarter-finals as well. That's Lyon against Manchester United on Thursday night, after we brought you Arsenal, Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain against Aston Villa. But and Vinicius has missed a penalty for Madrid as well. So you'll hear that on Tuesday night at the Emirates. Peterborough 0, Northampton Town 2, and Carlisle United have got a goal back. Carlisle 1, Newport County 2. Pat?
Yeah, interesting the way this game's going just now. Very, very equal. But even when you look at the strikers, I mean, it's two classic, tall, technically good strikers who know how to score a goal. When you think about it, Mateta's hardly kicked the ball since he scored the goal, and although a huge amount of work from Welbeck, to be fair, he's hardly had a kick of the ball either. It just shows you why they pay these guys the big bucks. When they get a chance, they make a good use of it.
Yeah, well, he's had 2 efforts, hasn't he, Mateta? He's scored 1 of them, but I think also it goes to show the dominance, or how Brighton have come back into the game, that we've not seen as much from Mateta.
Yeah, he's getting him at good angles. There was actually a roar from the home support beforehand when a cross was put in from the left-hand side. You didn't used to get a roar from a cross. You used to create a chance, but I think Mateta would like to see a few more of them.
Peterborough United 0, Northampton Town 2, Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1, and another goal at St Andrews. Tom Gale.
Equaliser for the visitors. Birmingham 1, Barnsley 1. Long throw from Roberts, and Keeler Dunn makes a nuisance at the back stick and heads home. Birmingham 1, Barnsley 1.
1-1 here at Selhurst Park. BBC Radio 5 Live, and it is going to be a throw to Crystal Palace on this near side, the left, down towards the corner flag that's just swaying gently in the gentle breeze. It goes into the penalty area, and O'Reilly clears it out towards Matoma, who hares after it. Munoz can't get there first, so Matoma now picks it up, and the counter-attack is on here, but they were unable to take advantage of that transition, Pat.
Well, I'm slightly surprised that Matoma didn't find him there. He was second favourite to actually win the ball, but when he was in just a foot race, not with the ball at his feet, I mean, what pace. There was a vapour trail behind him. Absolutely incredible. But the final pass, which you expect to work from him, was just a yard too far ahead, and Matoma holds his head. He can't believe he made that mistake.
We'll go to West Ham. John Southall.
Well, it's West Ham 0, Bournemouth 0. Second chance though for Bournemouth. Areola lost the ball across in the sun. Ouattara pulled it back at the back post. It came off Souček, almost put it into his own net, scrambled away by Areola. West Ham 0, Bournemouth 0.
Lacroix along the ground. Gahey with the instant layoff. Kamada deep lying forward, then to Mateta, out to this near side, the left. Crystal Palace playing from right to left, and Eza picks it. He's 10 yards in from the touchline and back towards Kamada once again. He then passes the ball back towards Gahey, but Brighton and Hove Albion have every yellow shirt back behind the ball.
Yeah, I mean, they're well organised. You know, they can be that. When they lose the ball, they know the shape, and the likes of Eze and Mateta, when they get a chance and get on the ball, they're just surrounded by a sea of yellow shirts. That's why Crystal Palace are trying to play on the break and use space when they break.
Lacroix hits it long, looking for that run round Munoz, couldn't get there, and it will go out of play for a goal kick. Fleetwood Town 0, Swindon Town 1 is a latest score in League 2, and Real Madrid have equalised, so they are level at home to Valencia. For the Arsenal supporters, who will be turning their attentions and their thoughts now towards that Champions League quarter-final after that 1-1 draw at Everton earlier on today. There's been a try in the Rugby League at Hull. Sharon Shortall.
And it's another one for Hull KR, and again they've scored out wide. This time a second one for Joe Burgess. Some lovely hands from Litton and Gildart in the build-up to that one. Rovers really looking like they're booking their place in the semi-finals. It's Hull FC 0, Hull KR 24 after just 4 minutes, 6 minutes even in this second half.
Now, the top of the Championship earlier, Burnley went to the top because they beat Coventry coming from behind by 2 goals to 1. Leeds United dropped points at Luton. Sheffield United can go back top, and there's been a goal at Oxford United. Chris Coles.
They are not going top with this scoreline. Oxford United 1, Sheffield United 0. Siriki Dembele with it. Messi, Dembele at the back post to capitalise and slot home. Oxford 1, Sheffield United 0.
7 minutes to go to half-time. The Grand National on its way on BBC Radio 5 Live. Portman Road next. Pat Murphy.
It's 1-0 to Ipswich still, and the keeper for Ipswich, Palmer, has just been given a yellow card for encroaching. 6 yards out, Wolves have a free kick. They're all gathered around. Here you go, and that is blocked, and it's gone for a corner. This stemmed from an errant back pass that the keeper, Palmer, took his eye off, nearly went over the line, palmed it away, conceded the free kick, and that's what happened with this brouhaha. It's been cleared, but it's a corner for Wolves. Shambles here, but Ipswich lead 1-0.
As at edge of the area, his shot is blocked straight to West Ham. There's been a goal. John Southall.
Bournemouth have the lead. West Ham 0, Bournemouth 1. Areola will want to see this one again. It was a shot from Semenya on the right hand side at the goalkeeper's near post. He pushed it back out. Evan Nielsen reacted quickest and finished it into the bottom left hand corner. West Ham 0, Bournemouth 1.
That Real Madrid goal was actually disallowed, so at the Bernabeu it is still Valencia leading by a goal to 0. Just over 5 minutes to go to half-time, Pat.
Yeah, in this game it's kind of slowed down a little bit. You know, I thought they would really be going for it, but you just wonder at this point in time, how much does it mean to Palace? You know, if they really needed this, they're in 12th position at the moment. You know, they're not really probably going to get to the European places. It's actually all up to Brighton today. They have to go and attack this. They have to go and make the difference in this game, and they generally have for a little while there, but right now I think Palace are trying to play in the break, but they've not been very effective since the first 10 minutes or so.
That midweek draw at Southampton ended a 5-match winning run, so unbeaten in 6. Crystal Palace, they've got another FA Cup semi-final to look forward to later in the month, a second semi-final appearance in 4 seasons, as a free kick is awarded by referee Anthony Taylor to Brighton, just outside the centre circle, as they play from left to right, all in yellow, as we are still at 1-1.
I think you very subtly made the point there that they've got a semi-final on, so do they want to take too many chances with injuries? Because for the club, that is absolutely incredible, considering, you know, if you win the FA Cup, you become a hero for the history of this club.
Well, this is a small matter of a derby. They'd love to be the hero here today, but it is level, and there's no real hurry to take this free kick. Gomez, he's actually wandered across towards the far side for Brighton. Diego Gomez, the Paraguayan international, who they signed from Inter Miami in January.
I'll tell you what, talk about other players who are maybe not given absolutely 100%. Someone should be, because Thomas Tuchel's down here to the left-hand side.
In comes that in-swinging cross from the left-hand side, headed away, and then Gomez actually heads it towards Minter, and then he hits it long. It drops towards Matoma. Estepinian was also there, and on the follow-through he actually caught Lacroix, and the referee has spotted that and has given a free kick to Crystal Palace. So still 1-1, and we'll go to League 2. Valley Parade, Naz Premji.
Bradford City 1, Crewe Alexandra 0. Crewe missed a penalty. It was a soft award in the first place. Lancaster was going to take it. Cooney then did, and Sam Walker saved low to his right-hand side. Bradford 1, Crewe 0.
Peterborough 0, Northampton Town 3 is the latest score in League 1. That's a good spot to pick out Thomas Tuchel.
Not that good, it was on my screen.
Well, at least you're honest.
Yes.
Henderson waits to take the free kick for Palace. He strikes it long, right-footed. Gets good distance on it too. It drops right onto the D of the Brighton penalty area. Van Hecke headed it away. With his back to goal, Eza picks it up. Kamada now, still in the sunshine. Gehi, back with Kamada. Fabian Herzl patrolling and straying out of his technical area. Now with his hands on hips, animated, as Palace, with every outfield player in the Brighton half. And here is Sark. Just the touch deserted him, didn't it? As he tried to come into that right-hand side of the penalty area, and Brighton able to get it clear.
Yeah, it was that first touch. I mean, brilliant little movement there. The third man run from Sark, gets himself in a little bit of space. It was slightly behind him, but he has got the quality to actually do that and take that on. Unfortunately, in this time, slightly tripped over it, and the chance, which in this game, when the chances are going to come, they're going to be fleeting. They're going to be there for just a second or so. Because I keep on saying, there's not a lot of space in here. They're two teams that are very, very similar in the way they play. The system-wise, there is a difference, but there's a lot of similarities in the types of players that are out there.
17 minutes to go to the Grand National. Just as a reminder, the football, if you want the football, Sports Extra and the World Service will provide that. 5 Live Sport will have the race from 4. Brighton with Minter coming forward. Didn't keep the ball in play, surely. Oh, he did.
Oh, yes.
Not on the head from back with Hinchelwood. Joins the attack. Stopped by Kamada. And then volleyed away by Mitchell. Where will we go next then on 5 Live? It's West Ham and John Southall.
Well, it's West Ham 0, Bournemouth 1. It's all Bournemouth at the moment. They've got a corner over on the far side now, which is cleared away by West Ham, but it could have been 2. Zabani with a header 4 yards out off the crossbar. I think there's going to be some boos at half-time. West Ham 0, Bournemouth 1.
Colchester United, who were 9th this morning, 3 points off the playoffs, are leading Notts County by a goal to 0. Notts County, who've won their last 2. Very, very tight at the top of League 2. Hinchelwood tries to thread a ball through. Lacroix will clear it out of play. It goes for a throw. It remains Crystal Palace 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 1, and we're inside the last 60 seconds of normal time.
Just thinking back to that West Ham thing, always go back to, you know, they got rid of David Moyes. Do you think that's made them a better club? I'm not absolutely convinced by that, as Moyes has gone on and done very, very well with Everton, hasn't he?
Well, yeah. Everton have gone from strength to strength since David Moyes was appointed. West Ham United have gone in the other direction, losing at home to Bournemouth at the moment. Ipswich still lead Wolves by a goal to 0. The Challenge Cup, Hull against Hull KR. Sharon.
Yeah, the sides have actually exchanged tries after Hull KR went into a 30 points to 0 lead through some lovely individual skill from Jez Litton. Lewis Martin has just scored for Hull FC, finding space out wide to touch down in the corner. The kick still to come. It's Hull FC 4, Hull KR 30.
Sarr into Munoz. Munoz inside right channel, the penalty area. And then eventually Brighton get the ball clear away towards our left-hand side. The 45 minutes are up. We'll see how much stoppage time there will be. And 1 minute of additional time that we are now into here at Selhurst Park.
Yeah, I didn't expect there to be much more than that there, but once again, neat little break by Palace. They do enjoy playing in the break. I mean, I think they are one of these teams that if they could organise it, they just sit back and allow their pacey players. Most of it at the moment's coming down the right-hand side the last 5 or 10 minutes, looking dangerous, but it hasn't led to any clear-cut chances. So,
Crystal Palace took the lead through Mateta after 3 minutes, and then Danny Welbeck with the equaliser after 31 minutes. Eza leaves it for Gahey. Referee Anthony Taylor blows the half-time whistle. So that's it here at Selhurst Park. Half-time, it's Crystal Palace 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 1.
So the football will start on Sports Extra with Ian and Pat. It will stay.
First half.
Do you know, I expected them to really go at it each other. In the first 10 minutes, looked like it was going to be that way. But certainly Palace started well. Mateta's goal obviously uplifts the spirits of the players. But Brighton after that, I would say after about 10, they just slowly but surely ground their way back into the game, got a lot more of the possession, started creating chances. Goalkeeper Henderson had to be lively on a couple of occasions, didn't he? Particularly down to his left from a volley from an acute angle. But eventually when the goal was scored by Welbeck, it wasn't a surprise by that point in time. Scored a little goal, nips right in front. I mean, it's the oldest fashioned goal you can score as a centre forward, isn't it? Post cross down low, nip it in front of the centre back, flick it towards the back post. So 1-1, and right at this point in time, you've got to say it's absolutely the correct score. There's nothing between the two teams.
Thank you, Pat. We'll be back for the start of the second half. In the meantime, incidentally, we're going to hear from Edison, because the next commentary's coming up. Well, on 5 Live at 5:30, you've got Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest. And then tomorrow, Fulham Liverpool is on 5 Live at 2. Manchester United, Manchester City at 4:30. Spurs, Southampton on Sports Extra. Brentford, Chelsea is going to be on the website. But with that Manchester derby in mind, 4:30 kick-off at Old Trafford, we can hear from the Manchester City goalkeeper Edison, who's been in conversation with Shay Given.
The qualifying I play against Bayern Munich. The Pep,
big game, yeah.
Pep's coach.
Yeah.
And Pep is really press high to the bar.
Yeah.
I'm just put the
pass,
ball pass and put the ball behind.
Yeah.
Oh, it create a lot of problems to Munich.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
But then, so you think that was the first time Pep see you as a goalkeeper?
Yeah.
In this game?
Yeah.
And he remembers? In 2 years of Benfica, your agent calls you and they say Manchester City want you?
Yeah, I say Manchester City and other teams. Explain to me the project for the city.
And did you speak to Pep before you signed, or the club? No, nothing like that. No.
And they speak about the city. I say my dreams play in Premier League.
Yeah.
I say, I go to City, take work with Pepe.
Yeah.
He's an amazing coach. It's a big opportunity to me.
Yeah. And were you surprised, like, because you only played for 2 seasons and then this big move, Manchester City, one of the biggest clubs in world football. Were you surprised, or are you just, this is cool, this is where I belong, or?
No, I stay calm because my perfil is really calm.
Yeah.
I have a 30% crazy. But I'm really calm. I say, yeah, I go.
Yeah.
I realize that my another dream is playing the Premier League.
Yeah, amazing. And then we talk about your calmness and stuff, and like for me, to watch you play is, I say to any kids watching football, go and watch Ederson warm up as well. As everything like you do is so calm and so natural, and people probably watching TV are thinking, how is he so calm when, you know, strikers are closing you down, like literally can be this close sometimes, and you're still got the ball at your feet, you know. How do you become so calm? How do you is there any sort of panic or any sort of at any stage in your head at this stage?
I think it is calm. It's natural. It's natural because I take the best passing to my teammate.
Yeah.
I see sometimes I'm at your first season here. I train a lot. I go to practice the box with the players and the movement patterns. I stay together to improve more with the legs, the control, the pass. And before my team pass to me, I scan before. I scan before. I say the options to pass.
Options, yeah.
I take the best option.
Sometimes I even see Pep Guardiola going like this, you know, because it's but you always make the right decision, the right call, and the other thing is when you pass the ball, there doesn't seem to be no backswing. You just, I don't know, you get so much power, you generate so much power from no backswing. It must be Pilates or yoga or the gym or whatever, you know.
Yeah, and I have a good stretch as well. I think it's helping me a lot.
Yeah. And how do you think goalkeeping has changed since you were young to now? Has it changed a lot, do you think, or?
It's changed a lot. I think you take 10 years ago, you don't see a lot of keepers play with the feet.
Yeah.
I think you see Neuer, Rogério Ceni.
Yeah.
Because I play in São Paulo, I see Rogério every time, Rogério Ceni. I have a lot of confidence. Yeah. It's amazing.
But do you ever think that you personally has changed the goalkeeping game? You know, maybe when I was younger, the Peter Schmeichel, the way he spread himself, changed the game.
Yeah.
I think you've changed the game. You know, when you finish play, like people talk now about, can you play like Ederson? Like that's the talk around the world of football. I mean, genuinely mean that. And sometimes even in League One, League Two, you see the goalkeepers, they play like Ederson, but they're not like Ederson. So they overplay. But you know, you feel like you've, you know, revolutionized the position.
Yeah, I think I'm not change. No. I take the process and put something different. Because you say, I asked before, Rogério Ceni, Neuer, Chilaver.
Yeah.
I have a lot of keepers play really good the feet and the pass.
And would you look up to goalkeepers as well in Brazil? Would there be goalkeepers you would look up to when you were younger, like to inspire?
Rogério Ceni.
Yeah. Inspire you?
Yeah, it's amazing guy.
So this season, obviously, everyone questions where Manchester City in general have, you know, because 6 Premier League titles in 7 years, Champions League, you know, the treble, all this kind of stuff. It's go, high. And in this season, how do you explain, you know, the drop-off? How, you know, you're inside the camp. Can you explain it, or is it a group thing? Is it individuals? What is your understanding?
I think it's the mix, no, and the group and individual. It's difficult especially for players who stay here as long time.
Yeah.
After winning the 6 Premier League, Champions League, the cups, and stay this moment. It's so difficult because you say, oh, why? The team have quality, I have experience. The football is like that. Sometimes you try, it's not possible.
Yeah.
I think the season is a little bit that, and it's normal in football. You take a bad moment, but us sometimes go up, low, up, low.
Yeah.
The season is not take a consistent, no.
No.
I think it's the biggest difference, and I take a small group, injuries, everything is you put in the pot is a big problem.
Yeah. And do you believe that this is just a blip in the season, and next season with Pep Guardiola, you know, we see Manchester City coming back, and you know, this is just a short-term problem, and then next season it'll be better again.
Yeah.
obviously I've played the position and I've been dropped before, you know, sit on the bench sometimes. This season has been a little bit stop-start for you. Sometimes Stefan plays, sometimes. Is that difficult when you don't play?
Yeah, it's normal.
It's normal.
Yeah,
and
I think I can play every game, but it's the Pep decision. I respect. I'm like,
Yeah,
I think every player in the group who expect to start the game. It means not. That's not.
And would
different.
Pep speak to you that you're not playing, or would Xavi tell you you're not playing, or who tells you?
Xavi.
Yeah.
It's normally Xavi.
Yeah. After football, for example, what have you got any plans for your future, or is it too soon? Probably now, but do you have?
Yeah.
Because Scott Carson, I speak to Scott yesterday on the phone. He goes, "Oh, I think Eddie likes UFC, and maybe maybe he like to do some fighting when he finishes." You like the UFC?
I like boxing,
UFC,
MMA.
Yeah,
I like.
But you wouldn't do that when you finish. You just like to watch, or would you like to get involved?
I think I'm not involved.
No, it's crazy.
Especially
It's really crazy.
Yeah, I don't box.
Yeah,
I think
good for
probably,
fitness.
Probably take one to fight.
But have you got any plans for your future? Like what does Ederson do when they take the gloves off for the last time?
I have a lot of plans.
Would you move back to Brazil? You live in Brazil, your family and stuff. Would that be the plan?
It's not a decision 100%.
Yeah.
I stay 50-50 and live in Portugal or Brazil.
Yeah.
Because my wife go to Portugal area as well.
Is your wife Portuguese or Brazilian?
No, it's Brazilian.
Okay.
I stayed together 13 years.
Long time, huh?
Yeah. But as like Portugal and Brazil as well, I don't decide because I have the kids involved, because they school, some things.
Yeah, it's important.
They stay 50-50.
Yeah. How proud is it to play for Brazil? You know, Brazil for any football fan around the world, like Brazil, the yellow jersey, the national team is very famous. I know. You played for your country.
Yeah.
When you play for Brazil, how does that feel?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I go to 2 World Cups.
Yeah.
Oh, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the fans are fanatical.
Yeah, it's fanatical. But in Brazil now, I don't have good moment with the team.
You don't have a good moment?
No.
Why?
Because after the World Cup, the coach is leaving, Tite, and the federation is a little bit struggling to take a new coach and take 3 coaches, and now it's coming Dorival, and take the job.
Yeah.
Proper job. No, the new plans, the new coach, it's different.
Lots of
and the fans don't have patience to wait. In Brazil. They criticize a lot on the players and the coach, everything. But it's normal. It's the process. The process
it takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the fans don't.
Yeah.
They don't take time.
Yeah, I don't understand.
A couple of small things. Your tattoos, everyone asks you about your tattoos. How many tattoos have you got? Do you know, and is this something you add to every year, or?
No, I think I have 70% on my body.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's covered tattoo. I love tattoos.
But you had the first tattoo and then you liked it and just, it's like an addiction?
I taking my first tattoo in 16 years old.
16?
Yeah. I go to a studio, the girl say, how old are you? I mean, 20. And I take my mom's name.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, after...
Just to keep adding?
A lot, yeah. I love tattoo.
Family, kids probably on, some of the kids and stuff. And your number on the back of your jersey is 31.
Yeah.
Why 31? Is that superstition or not?
No.
No, just you like the number? Yeah.
I have only one superstition.
What's that?
You play every game the same...
With what?
Same box.
Oh, same boxer shorts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? What, the same for the whole season?
Yeah. No. I really enjoy the seat. 80 years the same box.
No way.
Yeah.
They must be not in good shape.
No.
So that's the Manchester City goalkeeper Ederson in conversation with Shay Given, and a reminder that tomorrow Manchester City will have commentary at 4:30 after Liverpool at Fulham, and Liverpool now only need 11 points from their remaining 8 games to win the title after Arsenal's draw earlier at Goodison Park, where it was Everton 1, Arsenal 1. So this is BBC Radio 5 Sports Extra. Ian Dennis alongside Pat Nevin. We're waiting for the 2 teams to emerge. Elsewhere, Ipswich lead Wolves by 1-0. West Ham 0, Bournemouth 1. And Ipswich making a bit of a fist of it.
Yeah, I mean, it has happened. It's a long shot, but remember, before today, there's 24 points to play for. And that's all you think about. If you're a player down there, in that area. No, there's been nothing wrong with the way that Ipswich have played. They've played well this season. They've not been good enough, but they've played well. The spirit's been fine, no problem there. The fans are still behind them, no problem there. And you have to remember, yeah, they've got a hard run in, but see if you have a run in and everyone's still behind you, and you play against teams that have got not so much to play for, these results can come. So do not give up. So it's a massive one. Ipswich, if you can hold on to these 3 points, which they've struggled to before, the season is not dead.
No, it would take them 6 points behind Wolves as well, because and a stay of execution for Southampton, but Southampton have gone. Leicester, you'd think, would go. It looks like then between, if Ipswich can get the win, between Ipswich and Wolves for that last relegation place.
Problem, of course, is Wolves haven't been bad recently, have they? They've had a good run themselves. I mean, it's actually a very, very good run themselves. So, you know, what they need to be Ipswich is good themselves, and they expect and hope for, you know, Wolves to go into a difficult situation. But you can't worry about anything else. You have to only worry about yourself in each game. And as we speak, right, this second just now, Ipswich are doing what they need to do, particularly against the team they want to do it against.
Yeah, it would be the proverbial 6-pointer, wouldn't it?
It is, and it is. I know we like hyperbole and we like to go and make a headline statement now and again, but this is it for Ipswich. This is absolutely it. You've got to win these 3 points.
Well, the substitutes are coming out here at Selhurst Park, so the two teams will be following on as the second half will be back underway. Crystal Palace 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 1, and the Grand National, I would imagine, will be just getting underway as well at 4 o'clock. So that is over on BBC Radio 5 Live as Dean Henderson comes out. He's the first player to emerge as he has a little stroll in the sunshine, and the Crystal Palace players are just waiting and gathering in the tunnel before they follow him out as well for this game in the Premier League. Whereas Brighton deservedly getting back on level terms through that Danny Welbeck equaliser.
It's an odd one. The goalkeeper's walked out there. Do you think they've all played a trick on him? They've all said, let's go. And he's walked out, everyone else has just stood there. And he's about 80 yards out there, and he's still on his own. No one else has come out. Can I tell you, yes, footballers are that immature. That can be done.
Well, I know that because I was walking to the ground today and a former footballer tried to trip me up.
He didn't try to trip you up, he tripped you up.
That would be a yellow card.
Yes,
as now here come the rest of the Crystal Palace players in their red and royal blue striped shirts and royal blue shorts. So Henderson in goal, Lerma, Gahey and Lacroix as the back three, Munoz and Mitchell are the wing backs, Wharton and Kamara in the centre of midfield, Sarr, Eza and Mateta, and Brighton and Hove Albion all in yellow with Verbruggen in goal, back four of Hinchelwood, Dunk, Van Hecke, Estepinian, Minter, Gomez, Baleba, O'Reilly, Welbeck the goal scorer, and Matoma. I was just waiting to see if George, our producer, had maybe got the Grand National on, but I don't think he's done that.
That's the most subtle hint of get yourself organised, mate, that I've ever heard. Very, very impressive. No, I mean, it is an extraordinary race, and there'll be a lot of people around us here in this stadium. They will have, you know, they'll be watching this game, but, you know, they'll be over on 5 Live, or they want to hear about it. And another thing you usually do at most of the stadiums around this country is they put the result up at the end, or not even at the end, afterwards.
Yeah. The Wi-Fi is stopped in the press box, so he says we can't watch it.
He's absolutely spot on, because I tried it too.
Well, the game is about to restart. 5 Sports Extra here at Selhurst Park, and Crystal Palace get us back underway. So they are attacking the Holmesdale Road end of the ground. They're playing from left to right as we look, and straight away Matoma picks the ball up and then looks for the ball inside towards Gomez, but they were unable to take advantage of that little transition in play.
Yeah, and I can see where you're going with that. I did a piece on the website the other day about modern parlance and jargon in football, and I want to play a game called you know, use all those phrases like low block, high block, transition, etc., etc., and play bingo with it. You know, and if you hear a player, I've said actually, if you use it 3 times during a commentary, you should get sent off the commentary.
Well, that was discussed on the latest Commentators View podcast, and I said that I'm going to deliberately do it and I dropped the first one in after 36 minutes, and then the next one then.
I'm giving you one, mate. I'm only giving you one.
I won't do it again, because I, like you, would much prefer the good old counter-attack. As here is Estepinian. But you picked that one up. You were as sharp as ever.
my translation of transition is actually, you've given the ball away again. Which doesn't seem quite as modern and techie.
Grimsby Town 2, Morecambe 1 is the latest score in League 2, and Norwich City have got a goal back in the Championship. Plymouth Argyle 2, Norwich City 1. Here is Dunk. Estepinian, the left back for Brighton and Hove Albion. Back with Dunk. Hugo Square. Crystal Palace fans booing the Brighton players, such as the rivalry for this derby game, and then Van Hecker once more, as they are just slowly building their way downfield. Hinchelwood is over on that far side in front of the Arthur Waite stand. He looked towards Gomez. They'd lost the ball momentarily, and then they got it back, and then there was a foul, so it'll be a free kick to Crystal Palace on the far side.
What would be intriguing about this game, I was thinking beforehand that there are some players on the bench that could change things up a bit, and that will happen later in the game. But there's no need for either team. No one's playing particularly badly. No one's, far ahead. You're looking at the centre forwards. They both scored a goal, so you're not going to go and change them. So it's interesting to see what both managers will do, because eventually that may well be what changes this game and decides this game.
I'm getting text from George now. Broadway Boy is leading, followed by 3-card Bragg. As that was the gamble, wasn't it? The 3-card Bragg today. Here is Sarr. Tripped by Gomez. No, the referee says he got the ball.
Well done, referee. Well done. I think it was the dive and the triple toe loop that he put in after that was the thing that gave it away.
Van Hecker spreads the ball forward. Minter runs over to that right-hand side, can't keep it in play in front of the travelling support that has made that journey up from the south coast, up the M23, and it will be a throw to Crystal Palace, which eventually they take, and it goes back towards Lerma, and then it's hit away downfield. So still 1-1, this incredible sequence where the previous 5 games have all finished like that, as the ball is chipped up towards Minter. And the way that the second half has started, very, very even.
Yeah, very, very cagey, as well as anything else. I mean, in the end, what is there to lose? Now that these teams are going to get relegated, we know that. That's not going to happen. So you should be allowed to play with a little bit of freedom. The only fear out there for many players should be quite simply one or two of the Palace players that don't want to get injured before the semi-finals. But other than that, you might as well have a real go at it.
Matessa with a cross, made the run into the inside left channel, and then took it out wide, delivered the ball in, but Brighton now can bring it away. Belabor goes to ground very, very easily. Very easily. That was soft.
Like, he kind of plays that way. When you look at most of the other players in the Brighton team, when they get the ball, the first thing is to do is look forward. That's not Belabor's game. He's sitting, he wants to play it at the back or across the play. He actually had plenty of space in front of him there. Didn't want to use it. So he just wanted to wait until there was someone near him and he could fall over for the free kick. But you sometimes get these deep lying midfielders. I'm not going to use the word pivot.
If you want to see the piece that Pat's talking about, is actually on the BBC Sport website, written by Phil McNulty. That Pat and Chris Sutton offer their thoughts on the modern day parlance being used in football, as Eze wins the ball on that far side, but then is dispossessed, and Hinchelwood will play a short diagonal ball to Belabor, who shrugs off the one challenge and links up now with Welbeck, and then passes the ball to Matoma, and this all of a sudden looks promising for Brighton and Hove Albion. Matoma on the stretch. The referee he hasn't, he's given a free kick against Brighton, and once again words are being exchanged between the two dugouts as Anthony Taylor gives a free kick in favour of Crystal Palace.
I have to say, in first viewing, I would have been given the free kick the other way. The referee, however, is very, very close to it, but the dive in there, Matoma was the one who was on the ball, and you just thought, he looks to me like the one who's been fouled. Yeah, I've just seen it again in front of my angle here, and it really does look to me as if the kick is on Matoma. You've got a closer view of it here, and when you look at it, You know, he's cut in, he's getting control of the ball. Yeah, Mitoma's been kicked there. That's a nonsense from the referee. He's got that one completely wrong.
And in fact, both players are down. Gahey for Crystal Palace and Mitoma both getting treatment. Mitoma just tried to keep it alive, but in fact it was Lacroix, wasn't it? Not Gahey. So Lacroix is the player who's getting treatment.
In a way, do you know what it is? It's back to what I was talking to before. You know, just last week, the referees are scared of the follow through. You need to go in for a tackle. Problem is, you have got momentum. Your leg will carry on. And for me, Mitoma, that he takes the ball away, he's sliding in, he takes it away, he wins it. But of course he's going to make contact with another player flying in. I'm just not convinced there was any contact from the ball from anyone other than Mitoma. So how he's been penalised for that is... I mean, it happened at real pace though, and in slow motion. I mean, I've watched it another time now, and it's a nonsense that he's penalised Mitoma. Absolute nonsense.
Well, he's back on his feet, but he's hobbling quite badly, is Mitoma. Lacroix has also got to his feet. Charlton Athletic 0, Lincoln City 2 is the latest score in League One. So Charlton, who were looking to extend their winning run at the Valley to 9 games, it's a bit of a setback. And I'm told that the race is over, and what won it? Nick Rocket, does that say?
Don't give it out yet until you know for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people be jumping about and screaming.
Well, that wasn't one that was on the short list, if that is the case. It's a 33-1 shot, Nick Rocket. And the amateur jockey, Patrick Mullins, in fact it's a 1-2-3 for trainer Willie Mullins, because Iron Maximus came second and Grange Clare West came third. So that was the result of the Grand National. Sports Extra and the World Service here in with the football at Selhurst Park, and Wharton rolls it out towards Sarr. The ball wouldn't go with Sarr on level with the penalty area on the right hand side. Shortage of goals elsewhere around the country. Wharton's pacey ball in towards Munoz, and in fact he was offside. It'll be a free kick, but in fact there's another player down. That's Gomez, who I think might have just been caught by Munoz as he looked to get the shot clear, so there might be another stoppage.
Yeah, a bit of a shame that, because it's just started livening up. Interesting, a couple of players there you were talking about, because Sarr's having one of those strange games where he's not really controlling the ball as well as he would normally do so. But just looking at Wharton there, that ball that he played through from that area between the centre-backs and the midfield there, cutting through, slicing through. Now, it was offside in the end, but it was a really imaginative ball.
Ball hit long by Van Hecker. Looked for Hinchelwood, who'd made good ground on that far side to right. Palace, though, have it, and they release Eza, who runs forward, diagonal run. Passes the ball to Munoz, one touch, out in front of him, shoots, and scores! Munoz with a low right-footed shot. He finds the bottom left-hand corner, and Crystal Palace are back in front. And one thing is for certain, it will not finish 1-1 a game between these two here at Selhurst Park. Palace lead.
And that's typical of Palace just now. They want to play on the break, and they did play on the break there. Went to the left-hand side, and Eddie draw about 3 or 4 players to him, and they were all expecting me dribble or shoot from 20 yards, but because he drew those players to him, he played it wide. There was a little bit of space there, and the shot was low through far corner. Absolutely nothing the goalkeeper could do about it, particularly as that shot from Munoz came through a bunch of players. But I also think it took a little deflection, I think even off his backside, and that has changed the direction slightly, and the keeper can do nothing about it. 2-1.
That's an excellent spot from you, Pat. Just took it away out of the dive of Verbruggen, away towards his right-hand side. Birmingham City are back in front against the 10 men of Barnsley. Birmingham City 2, Barnsley 1 is the latest score in League One. And so there will not be a 6th successive 1-1 draw. But Brighton and Hove Albion are going to have to come from behind, just as they did in the first half. As here we are at the atmospheric Selhurst Park. And it's the Palace supporters making all the noise.
It's proud to hear the Palace fans saying like this, because that really hasn't been that up for the vast majority of the game. Yeah, they've been loud enough, but right now I mean, a lot of the games that we go to, in some of the bigger clubs even, the atmosphere isn't quite what it should be sometimes. Never really a problem here, and certainly not when they're beating Brighton, and certainly not in a day like today, because they are loving it now.
MK Dons 0, Barrow 2 is a latest score in League 2. So O'Reilly towards Welbeck, gets it out, helped out by Belabor. Hinchelwood joins the attack, rolls it short, right corner of the area. This is Minton, he's already supplied one cross from that right-hand side, looks to try and supply another, one turn too many. Van Hecke forward, upended. That looked a very, very heavy tackle by Gahey. Really did upend the Brighton player, and it's a free kick, and it's a yellow card shown to Mark Gahey.
Yeah, he's continued through there. I mean, there's nothing, I don't think, particularly vicious about it, but if your momentum's taken that way and it's going to go and impact a player, you need to stop. He's not stopped, he's kept on going. It's A, free kick, and B, absolutely, definitely a yellow card, no complaints there.
Kilmarnock have got a second goal against the 10 men of Motherwell at Rugby Park in the Scottish Premiership. Kilmarnock 2, Motherwell 0. Crystal Palace looking to maintain this momentum of this unbeaten run of 6, and Wembley's on their minds as well, as that is the chant from the Palace supporters. But Brighton might look to silence them with this free kick on that far side, 10 yards in from the right touchline. They're playing from right to left, and once again Dunk, Van Hecke, Welbeck, Hinchelwood, Matoma, they're all gathering around the far side, the left side where it's going to come from. Behind that line of Crystal Palace shirts, it'll be left for Gomez. Didn't beat the first man, struck Eza and goes out of play for a throw.
Oh, that's absolutely unacceptable from there. Only one player on the wall, and you hit him when everybody's come up for the free kick.
Fleetwood Town 0, Swindon Town 2 is a latest score in League 2. Brighton have a throw over on that far side, trailing now by 2-1. Ball played forward by Hinchelwood to O'Reilly. A little bit of a tussle going on. Eza loses out to O'Reilly, and then it's clattered away and out of play for a throw to Brighton on that far side. The ball is picked up in the sunshine off the little white cone on that far side, but in fact the referee has said it will be a Crystal Palace throw and not a Brighton one.
That has listed the game though, that goal, absolutely, because just after the second half you weren't sure who was going to really go for it, but that goal, and suddenly Brighton know that every single player on that Brighton team knows, right, A, you're behind, B, the manager will be thinking of making changes, the likes of João Pedro being on the bench, it must be a temptation now.
Charlton have got a goal back. Charlton 1, Lincoln City 2 is the latest score in League 1. Here is Belabor, Mateta. And we welcome back listeners to BBC Radio 5 Live after listening to the Grand National at Aintree. And yes, there has been a goal here at Selhurst Park, and it is Crystal Palace who lead Brighton and Hove Albion by 2-1. It was Munoz with a right-footed shot that took a deflection on its way through into the bottom left-hand corner. We've been playing for nearly an hour now. Millwall have just taken the lead, incidentally, in the Championship. Millwall, whose last 6 games have been one loss. They're the due a win, and indeed they are leading against the Portsmouth side that have lost 9 of their last 10 away from home in the Championship. Palace are coming forward. Mitchell, left-hand side of the penalty area, and the cross is beaten down by Verbruggen. Pat Nevin.
You're absolutely fabulous on the break, Crystal Palace. I'm not saying that, they would rather play in the break when they can. And when the ball comes up to Mateta, he holds it, but they get it to Eza every time. Skill was superb there. Played it wide. They should have probably done a little bit better with it.
Bromley 2, Accrington Stanley 0 is a latest score in League 2. Birmingham leading Barnsley by 2-1. Let's get news of that second goal from Tom Gale.
The goal came 90 seconds into the second half. Ian, it sees the table toppers back in front, deep corner, headed back, stroked in to the bottom corner by the Glasgow Rangers loanee Ben Davies. Birmingham 2, Barnsley 1.
There will be more reflections on the Grand National because Sports Report comes live from Aintree this afternoon before our 5:30 commentary of Aston Villa against Nottingham Forest. Conor McNamara and Michael Brown will provide commentary of that before 6:06 at 7:30. 08085 909 693. 2-1 then to Palace. And there's been a goal now at West Ham. John Southall.
And West Ham have the equaliser. West Ham 1, Bournemouth 1. Pretty much his first touch of the game. Corner on the right hand side, and Fulkrug with the header from about 8 yards out. Bulleted it in. His third goal for the club. West Ham 1, Bournemouth 1.
Ipswich Town are still leading Wolverhampton Wanderers by 1-0. That would reduce the gap between the two to 6 points. Another goal at St Andrews in League One. Tom Gale.
Birmingham 3, 10-man Barnsley 1. Ball swung in, and it's the substitute Alfie May. He came on in the first half. He's one of the smallest men on the pitch, but he's free. 6 yards out, heads home. Birmingham 3, Barnsley 1.
That will be a 10th straight win at home for Birmingham, and they could get promotion on Tuesday night at Peterborough, as Verbruggen has to accelerate towards that far side and puts it out of play for a Crystal Palace throw. Earlier, Wrexham beat Burton by 3-0. Big win for Phil Parkinson's side, especially when coupled with a Wycombe defeat at Reading. There's going to be a double change for Brighton. Whilst that happens, we'll go back to Portman Road and Pat Murphy.
It's still 1-0 for Ipswich, but Wolves very much in the ascendancy now. Gomez hit the outside of the post. Just now, Aitnuri has poked wide from 10 yards. This could be a long second half for Ipswich, but they still lead Wolves 1-0.
Thank you, Pat. Adingra has come on to replace Matoma. The other player coming on is João Pedro, and who has gone off? It's Matt O'Reilly who's actually gone off. So you've got a front line now of Pedro, Danny Welbeck and Adingra, and Ben Chilwell is coming on for Crystal Palace, and Ben Chilwell is going to replace Tyrick Mitchell.
That makes perfect sense there. Knew they were going to make a load of changes at some point, but I think the goal has certainly hurried that along for both sides, but no surprise whatsoever that João Pedro is on. Need him now, Brighton. They need to get him a chance. They need to get the ball to him in the box, but not just now, because it's a long throw against.
In comes that throw from the left. Van Hecke climbs, heads it away, rides up the body of Wharton. He heads it back into the danger area, and then it's hooked clear by Hinchelwood, 6 yards out from his own goal. Everybody was in and around that penalty area then. Dundee have got a second goal. Dundee 2, St Mirren 0 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership, as the ball is hit downfield. And then Mateta, with close control, uses his strength to hold the ball off, but Brighton then win the ball. Kamada couldn't get there. Baleba runs into a bit of space. Estepinian left of the centre circle forward, and then out towards Adingra, quickly closed down by Munoz. The applause in the background is for Tyrick Mitchell, who's just making his way back to the dugout after coming off on the other side of the field. Still in the sunshine here in South London, 64 minutes played, and Crystal Palace is still leading by 2-1.
I'm just happy that the feeling in the ground, it may be going a little bit quiet, a wee bit soporific for about 10 or 15 minutes. As I say, the goal has changed that. We have a derby back on here. Brighton want to get back into the game, but there's a real feeling from those Palace players. They do not want to leave that. A little bit more bite to it now.
Van Hecke looked for the run of João Pedro through the middle. Welbeck had come deep. Van Hecke gets it back, rolls it out towards Adingra in the shadows now of the main stand. He passes the ball to Gomez. Gomez is quickly challenged, but Brighton still have the ball. Van Hecke, Palace have everybody back. They're deep. They're inside their own half. Here is Dunk, who's 10 yards forward of the centre circle, and he goes square to Van Hecke. Gives it back towards Dunk. The fullbacks are pushed on for Brighton. Here is Baleba out towards Estepinian to Danny Welbeck, tries to get away from Lacroix, who was snapping at his heels, and as a result of that, Palace now get the ball and can break, and it's Sarr over the halfway line. Mateta is in support. Mateta back towards Sarr, accelerates in towards the penalty area, but it was a tame, weak cross from the right hand side, and Brighton were able to deal with it. Another goal at Birmingham City. Tom Gale.
Birmingham 3, Barnsley 2. The 10-man visitors have one back. Stephen Humphreys plays a 1-2. He's wide right on the right, but his shot is hit with so much power, Allsop can't keep it out. Birmingham 3, Barnsley 2.
And Carlisle United, bottom of League 2, with only one win in 7, were 2-0 down at home to Newport County, have fought back. So Mark Hughes' side now, Carlisle United 2, Newport County 2 is the latest score. Crystal Palace have a throw. They're leading by 2-1. Ipswich are ahead. West Ham and Bournemouth are level at 1-1. Lerma level with the penalty area on the near side, the right. And then
he's dropped it.
He dropped
You
it.
never see that. It's given as a foul throw, and you have to say that's probably the right thing for the referee. And it's a real shame that, because when Lerma's about to take that there, it's very noticeable. Had he framed that correctly, it was coming straight out of the sun. The goalkeeper was not looking forward to that, but that is he made a right mess of that.
He did. Just slipped out of his grasp, didn't it? Full time in the rugby, Leinster Harlequins, James Burridge. Oh, sorry, full-time rugby league, Sharon Shortle.
And it's Hull Kingston Rovers who are through to the semi-finals of the Challenge Cup with a 32-16 win against Hull FC. 5 tries before any response from FC in this game, meaning Rovers built a 30-0 lead before Hull FC came back with 3 late tries. But it's the East Hull contingent who are celebrating progressing through to those semi-finals. It's 32-16 Hull KR win.
Thank you, Sharon. Eddie Nketiah is going to be coming on for Crystal Palace as they look to try and maybe add to their lead here with 22 minutes remaining. So we're midway through the second half. Let's get the team news from Villa Park. Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest. Conor McNamara.
Hi, very interesting team news. Aston Villa at least one eye on Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League on Wednesday, because Unai Emery makes 8 changes from the team that started the win over Brighton. Matson, Asensio, Malin, Garcia, Watkins, Mings, Disasi all coming into the team. For Forest, will they beat Manchester United on Tuesday? 2 changes for Nuno Espirito Santo. Morata and Dominguez come into the team. Looks like they're going to play with a false 9 and no recognised striker.
Michael Brown alongside Connor. Commentary at 5:30 after Sports Report on BBC Radio 5 Live. Eddie Nketiah has come on. He has replaced Jean-Philippe Mateta, who gave Palace an early lead. They are back in front after being pegged back in that first half. It is 2-1 to the home side in this derby game here at Selhurst. But Brighton, all in yellow, have the ball with Baleba. Back then towards Dunk. And Dunk now to Van Hekke. Hits the ball through the middle. Gomez had pushed up onto that Crystal Palace defence, but Lacroix wrapped his leg around him and managed to get the ball away. I mentioned James Burridge earlier. He's watching Leinster Harlequins.
And they are rampant in 60 minutes gone, 36 points to nil now. 3 tries in the first half, 3 in the second. They are precise, physical, persistent, and Quins cannot find a way through. 36 points to nil, Leinster lead.
Palace are breaking. Munoz right hand side, right corner of the area. The cross strikes the heels of Van Hekke. Picked up by Nketiah, goes down. The referee doesn't give a penalty. Instead, he gives a free kick for Brighton, and this will result in a yellow card for Eddie Nketiah.
You know, I think he's got it right. I absolutely do. I think Nketiah was looking for it, and he tried to drag his leg over the defender. And I don't know if he got anything on it. Took another 2 steps, then went down. So I think the referee's probably got this one right. We shall see.
Goals elsewhere. Huddersfield lead Mansfield Town by 1-0. Stevenage 1, Crawley 1, and the noise in the background is another goal at West Ham. John Southall.
And West Ham have turned it round. West Ham 2, Bournemouth 1. Lovely cross from the left-hand side from Kudus. Jared Bowen hung in the air, 10 yards out, and guided a beautiful header into the bottom right-hand corner. And West Ham have the lead. West Ham 2, Bournemouth 1.
Tomorrow on 5 Live, our commentaries come from Craven Cottage at 2, Old Trafford at 4:30. On Sports Extra, it'll be Spurs Southampton, and on the website, Brentford against Chelsea. And then next midweek, Arsenal Real Madrid Tuesday, Paris Saint-Germain Aston Villa on Wednesday for those 2 Champions League quarter-finals, and the Europa League quarter-final commentary on Thursday night. It's the Lyon against Manchester United. We've got just over 20 minutes remaining. Pat.
Just come back to that moment before Eddie Nketiah. I mean, let me absolutely fair to him. I've watched it a couple of times now, and there is a contact. Now, whether Nketiah actually, he made the contact happen, he was desirous of a bit of a contact there, and then went down. I have to say, I think it's now, having seen it slowly and surely, he probably doesn't deserve a yellow card for this. It's a wee bit harsh on him.
Well, there is a stoppage here. Gomez is the player down. Looks like is it cramp he's feeling? Meanwhile, there is activity on the Brighton bench. But at the top of the Championship, the 2 results earlier so significant. Coventry 1, Burnley 2. Burnley unbeaten in 27 games. As they went to the top of the Championship, Leeds dropping points at Kenilworth Road. Luton 1, Leeds United 1. However, there is another twist, of course, because the latest at Oxford comes from Chris Coles.
And that twist is Sheffield United not winning. Oxford United still 1-0 up, but Sheffield United have awoken from their first half slumber, much better in this second period, dominating possession, creating chances. Ratsaki with the best of them, brilliantly cleared by Kieran Brown. Oxford 1, Sheffield United 0.
Solly March, who's had a dreadful time of injury. He's only made 6 substitute appearances this season. He's come on to replace Minte for Brighton, and there's going to be another change as well for Brighton and Hove Albion, and it is Gruda who is coming on, and the player is going off. I actually mentioned that he was struggling, Diego Gomez, so he has been replaced in the midfield. So that is the substitutions all done and dusted as far as Brighton are concerned, as they look for a second equaliser of the afternoon.
Yeah, they've got a chance. I mean, they've livened the play up a little bit since since they lost that goal. They've still got Welbeck on there. They've got a lot of attack-minded players on there. They've got João Pedro on there as well. So, but they need to get a few chances. They've just been too limited in the chances. They've been well defended by Palace.
Adingra latches onto a ball that was played out to this near side, the left, down by the corner flag. Estepinian hits a hanging ball that is repelled out of that Crystal Palace penalty area by the Palace defence, but then Baleba turns towards Dunk, back with Estepinian. João Pedro hits a pacey ball back towards Dunk, and Crystal Palace again have dropped off. They're deep inside their own half, as Van Hecke can take a couple of strides forward, and then he finds Gruda back with Van Hecke, lifts it, looking for Hinchelwood. Hinchelwood hooks it goalwards, and it's caught by Henderson.
And that is the problem that they've got Brighton just now. They're getting possession, but it's usually the two centre-backs, or maybe Hinchelwood coming from right full-back. And what they've got is they've got these lines in front of them of Palace, blue and red, and there's just no space whatsoever. Now, if it's one of your more creative players that was on the ball there, you might be able to find a gap, but it's the centre-backs, and they've not got the sophistication to break that line with a really cute ball.
That part of the afternoon now where we start to give you the latest scores in the other divisions, just so you can get a clearer idea as we head our way towards Sports Report on 5 Live. Handball by Nketiah. Dundee 2, St Mirren 0. Kilmarnock 2, the 10 men of Motherwell 0. That's at Rugby Park. Rangers still trailing at home to Hibs by 1-0. And Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1 is a latest score. That's in the Scottish Premiership. This is 5 Live.
That story about Hibs is just absolutely extraordinary. The fact that was at 16 games now without a defeat, if they manage to hold on to that against Rangers.
Bromley 3, Accrington 0 is the latest score in League 2. And there's been another goal at Portman Road. Pat Murphy.
Equaliser for Wolves. It's come from one of the substitutes, Pablo Sarabia. Ipswich didn't clear a long ball in the penalty area for far too long. Sarabia stuck out an optimistic, telescopic left leg, and it crept in past the keeper. Ipswich 1, Wolves 1.
And it's no longer Rangers 0, Hibs 1. Ailey Barber.
It is Rangers 0, Hibs 2. Martin Boyle getting on the end of a brilliant long pass. Great composure, he slotted it past Butland. His 4th consecutive game that he scored in to make it Rangers 0, Hibernian 2.
Straight to Preston, penalty, Katie Smith.
And Stoke have equalised, and it's come for Lewis Baker from the penalty spot. Preston 1, Stoke 1. He went low and left, made no mistake in front of the away fans, celebrating wildly. It's Preston 1, Stoke 1.
Well, in League 2, the results earlier: Cheltenham 0, Doncaster Rovers 2. Walsall, who started the day top, lost at home to Port Vale by 3-2. So Port Vale went to the top. However, at the moment they're going to be replaced by Bradford City. The other result, incidentally, was Tranmere 4, Chesterfield 0. But Bradford are leading Crewe by 1-0. They are going top of League 2 as it currently stands. AFC Wimbledon 0, Harrogate 0. Elsewhere, Bromley lead Accrington by 3-0. Carlisle 2, Newport County 2. Colchester lead Notts County by 1-0. Fleetwood 0, Swindon 2. Grimsby 2, Morecambe 1. MK Dons 0, Barrow 2. It's Salford City 2, Gillingham 2. Pat.
Just looking at a few moments ago, we were away there, and Nketiah tried to get through. He was offside, but he handled the ball. You think, don't do that when you're on a yellow card. And not only that, he kicked the ball away almost 10 yards. He's already on a yellow card. I'm sure his own heart was in his mouth, but he cannot do silly things like that, even though it was a very harsh yellow card he got in the first place.
Here is João Pedro back with Estupiñán for Brighton, still trailing by 2-1. 14 minutes remaining. Van Hecke finds Gruder, takes it in his stride, passes the ball short to Hinchelwood, and it goes out wide towards that right-hand side for Solly March. Sliding challenge comes in from Chilwell, and it will be a Crystal Palace goal kick, says referee Anthony Taylor. Now, the two results in League One: Reading 1, Wycombe Wanderers 0. So Wycombe are 6 points behind Wrexham. They do have a game in hand, but Wrexham beat the 10 men of Burton Albion by 3-0. The leaders, Birmingham, are still leading. Barnsley by 3-2. Barnsley down to 10 men. Birmingham on the brink of promotion. It can happen on Tuesday night. Bolton lead Bristol Rovers by 1-0. Charlton 2, Lincoln City 2. Charlton were 2-0 down. Exeter 0, Stockport County 2. Huddersfield lead Mansfield by 1-0. Lake Orient Wigan is still goalless. Peterborough 0, Northampton Town 3. Rotherham lead Blackpool by 1-0. Shrewsbury, bottom of the table, are taking on Cambridge, who are just above them, and it's Cambridge who are leading by 1-0 there, and Stevenage 1, Crawley Town 1.
Just a moment ago, I had a lovely moment when you think about it. Solly March taking on Ben Chilwell, two players who have really suffered from injuries and had long periods out, and it's been really tough for them. So it's good to see both of them on the field.
Ball is cleared long by Henderson, and that was Nketiah. Nketiah could be in trouble here. Nketiah has got a second yellow card, and there is the red. A lack of discipline from Eddie Nketiah. Now, how much of a turning point could that be? It won't be reviewed, it's a second yellow. Nketiah has been sent off. Crystal Palace are down to 10 men.
Right, from the fact that Nketiah has just kicked him in the face, you think, well, you deserve a yellow card for that. But his foot wasn't hugely high, and the head was quite low as well. There is no way Nketiah was looking at him. So he's actually had 2 yellow cards, and I really honestly don't think he knows what he's sent off for. Because the first one, I think there is probably contact, and the second one, he wasn't looking at the player, and his leg isn't that high. Yes, he's kicked him, his head's gone through in the face, but in that situation, I don't think many pros would send him off, but many referees would.
His outstretched right foot catching Van Hecke, and Nketiah is off. Crystal Palace are going to have to see out the next 11 minutes with 10 men. Will Hughes, I think, is going to be coming on. They're deep in discussions now down on the bench, the Crystal Palace coaching staff and their manager Oliver Glasner, as Baleba out then towards Van Hecke. Van Hecke hits the ball low. Hinchelwood plays it infield. Baleba to Estupiñán, 30 yards out from goal, towards Adingra. Adingra now with the cross, blocks, and behind for a corner kick. Another goal at St Andrews. Tom Gale.
Birmingham 4, Barnsley 2, substitute and Fulham loanee Luke Harris played in by Alfie May. He made no mistake. Birmingham 4, Barnsley 2.
Grimsby Town lead Morecambe by 3-1. Huddersfield Town 2, Mansfield 0 is a latest score, and you're up to date with the goals as they go in. In fact, Swansea, without a win in 3, are leading Derby County by 1-0. Swansea 1, Derby 0. We wait for the corner kick on this near side. The Albion supporters over on that far side, waiting and hoping for Solly March to deliver it from the left-hand side. Heads go up over from Van Hecke, comes out towards Baleba, rides up his chest, he volleys the ball out. The interception from Kamada, couldn't get there. Solly March, though, can't get past him. Kamada at least holds up the run of Solly March, who then leaves one on a Crystal Palace player, and he's going to get shown a yellow card himself. So the Brighton substitute is now booked.
It's getting a wee bit tasty out there. It's getting more than a little bit tasty out there. I mean, there was a bit of anger in that and a bit of frustration in that, so there's no doubt that the referee was going to go for it. But Solly March had actually had a little bit of a elbow towards his face, and it was just pure anger and reaction to that. To be fair, he'd shoved one player, then tried to go for a slide tackle, and in the end, he can't argue with that yellow card.
Bromley 4, Accrington 0. Another goal at West Ham, John Southall.
Bournemouth have the equaliser, West Ham 2, Bournemouth 2. Just had a long VAR check, but it's been given. Howson on the right of the area, headed back across to Evan Nielsen at the back post, and he tucked in his second of the game. He can't stop scoring. West Ham 2, Bournemouth 2.
Straight to Ashton Gate, there's been a goal, Hamish Marshall.
And it's got interesting. Bristol City 2, Watford 1. Watford have got the goal back. Mamadou Doumbia, substitute from the edge of the penalty area. 10 minutes to go. Bristol City 2, Watford 1.
Substitutions are taking place here at Selhurst Park. I'll give you news of those after we've heard of that goal from Swansea from Molly Stevens.
Swansea 1, Derby 0. Finally a breakthrough in what has been a woeful game this afternoon. The Swansea substitute Ji Sung-om scores with the horse's first shot on target, nudged in from close range on the left side of the post. Swansea 1, Derby 0.
Eza and Kamada, I think, no, not Kamada. The referee, Oliver Glasner's just giving them some instructions. It is going to be Wharton who's coming off. So Wharton is coming off and Eza is coming off. And coming on to the field of play is Justin Devenny and Will Hughes just ashore at the midfield. Meanwhile, Brighton made a change with Ayari replacing Estepina. We've got about 8 minutes remaining of normal time, but Brighton will still feel they can get something from this game as they trail 2-1.
Absolutely, and it's very, very clear from the changes that have been made exactly what's been asked of that Crystal Palace team. They will go and ask Sarr maybe to go and play up front on his own, just use his place, run into corners, try and keep 2 or 3 players occupied at the back there. But what Brighton want is that ball in play, in the final third, in the box and attacking it. They've got enough attacking players out there, enough players that can score a goal. Absolutely not over yet. 8 minutes plus a little bit more to go.
Sarr nicks it to Munoz on the right hand side for Crystal Palace. He now finds Devenny, who shoots, takes a deflection, goes behind for a corner kick. Rotherham 1, Blackpool 1. Blackpool have equalised in South Yorkshire. Portsmouth have also got an equaliser at Millwall in the Championship. Millwall 1, Portsmouth 1, and Huddersfield Town 2, Mansfield Town 1. So Mansfield have reduced the arrears. I've still got to give you the latest scores in the Championship. Ipswich 1, Wolves 1, West Ham United 2, Bournemouth 2. The latest scores in the Premier League earlier, Everton 1, Arsenal 1 is how it finished. We've got commentary to come of Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest at 5:30 after Sports Report. Here is Hughes with the corner kick. It's an in-swinger, it was an awkward one. And then the downward header there by Gruder has allowed Brighton to clear. Adingra barged into Chilwell. It goes out for a Brighton throw.
He was actually stunned there, didn't left 1-on-1 at the back, Palace. For goodness sake, you're 2-1 up. You know, you got a corner, fair enough, but there's no need to shove everyone up the pitch. They're very brave.
Here is Van Hecke striding forward over the halfway line. Through the centre circle he goes, passes the ball out wide. Plenty of yellow shirts for Brighton coming in off that right-hand side. Here is Gruder, it's a flat ball in. The header from Adingra. Henderson does ever so well. He had 2 Brighton players coming towards him, but he just pushed the ball away fiercely and got good distance on it too to get the ball to safety. By the way, I'm conscious if you've been driving and you might have had a horse on the Grand National, and up to 8 places I think some bookies are paying out. Nick Rocket was the winner at 33-1. Ian Maximus was second at 7-1. Grange Clare West came third at 33-1. Iroko, the 13-2 favourite, came fourth. Meeting of the Waters fifth at 20-1. Senior Chief 40-1 sixth. Manila Kakuna 18-1 seventh, and Hewitt 14-1 came 8th. Sports Report with Mark Chapman at 5 comes live from Aintree. Brighton with Baleva. Pedro blocked by Lacroix. He stepped out of defence. We've got 5 minutes remaining, but Brighton win the ball back quickly against the 10 men of Crystal Palace after that sending off of Nketiah. They force the ball out wide to the left. Adingra with a cross, and there was Welbeck. It was around chest height, and he's tried to almost stab it inside the near post with his right foot.
I know what you're thinking. Welbeck's foot was probably higher than Nketiah's foot when he got his second yellow card and sent off for that.
Coming on strong though, Brighton. They're going to have to soak up a lot of pressure and possession here at Crystal Palace. João Pedro, was he taken out? The referee, Anthony Taylor.
I think it may be the other way around. I think the defenders, João Pedro's taking the defender out there, so I don't think the referee's going to give a penalty kick there, but It's just two committed players. It's been common. It's happened 3 or 4 times during this game where I don't think there's anything vicious at all, but just two committed players going into the ball. It actually cost an injury to Matoma earlier on as well. So it's a committed derby atmosphere.
Fleetwood 0, Swindon 3. You're right, and it's a free kick to Crystal Palace for that challenge on Lacroix. Where are we going to go next then in the closing stages? A goal at Ipswich, Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Wolves. It's 2-1 to them now. A deep cross, and there was Strand Larsen with his right foot scrambling it in. Ipswich feel it was possibly offside. We'll see about that, but at the moment the score is Ipswich 1, Wolves 2.
And with that scoreline there, Southampton can be relegated tomorrow if they were to lose at Tottenham. Commentary of that game will be on Sports Extra. Fleetwood 0, Swindon 3. We'll get a rugby union update now from James Burridge.
It's now 50 points to 0 to Leinster, 6 minutes to go. It has been an Irish rugby onslaught. 8 tries, 5 in the second half, and Harlequins unable to find a way through. A sobering afternoon, 50 points to 0 to Leinster.
This is a bad one for Lacroix. He's still getting treatment and they're holding his neck and his head very, very still.
Yeah, we've just in the last 5, 6, 7 minutes, but he's not really moved a lot down there, and there's no real panic around him. That's the thing. There's no real panic. The players aren't running about looking very, very upset and that, but there is no doubt it's a bad hit. He's been caught very, very awkwardly. I'll just be intrigued to see what the referee does. Is he going to have a word? Is he going to have with João Pedro, who, he'll say, look, I had to go for the ball. It's in the penalty box. I need to have a little bit of a go at it. But he's just taken out the Crystal Palace player on the way.
Oliver Glasner is actually having a lengthy discussion with the fourth official, Sam Allison, down below. At Valley Parade, there's been a goal in League Two. Naz Premji.
Bradford City 2, Crewe Alexandra 0. Simple ball over the top. Callum Kavanagh, he's clean through. He puts it into the bottom corner. Bradford going top. Bradford City 2, Crewe Alexandra 0.
They've had numerous opportunities to go top of late. They've only had 1 win in 5, but Valley Parade will be rocking. They will go top. They will replace Port Vale, who earlier beat this morning's leaders Walsall by 3 goals to 2. Now, in the Championship, in fact, I'll give you the latest scores in the Championship after we've heard of another goal at Birmingham. Tom Gale.
Birmingham 5, Barnsley 2. The League One leaders showing their class. Kieran Dowell, their 5th different goal scorer. Once again it's on the counter. Once again it's May with the assist, and he rifles a shot into the bottom corner. Birmingham 5, Barnsley 2.
I'm happy to report that Lacroix is on his feet and is walking freely, unaided, to the side of the pitch, but one would imagine that he'll have to come off with concussion.
Yeah, you'd expect that, because I think it seemed to be the hip of the opponent that took him out, and it was at very, very high speed as well. That was an ugly come together, but I'm not going to say it's a vicious one or a deliberate one, but it looks ugly and it looks painful. I'm just intrigued to see what the referee will do. Are they going to make a change as well? Obviously Palace would probably like to do that just now. They don't want to go down to 9 men, do they?
Oliver Glasner at the minute is suggesting to Lacroix, he's asking for the thumbs up, are you okay to continue? Meanwhile, Joel Ward has appeared out of the bench. The results in the Championship, incidentally, Coventry 1, Burnley 2. So Burnley unbeaten in 27 to the top of the Championship. Luton 1, Leeds United 1, West Bromwich Albion 0, Sunderland 1. Bristol City are now moving into the playoffs because they are leading Watford by 2 goals to 1. Millwall are now back in front. They've just taken the lead. Millwall 2, Portsmouth 1, Oxford 1, Sheffield United 0. So Chris Wilder against his former club, unable to take the Blades back top. Plymouth, bottom of the table, lead Norwich by 2 goals to 1. Preston 1, Stoke City 1. QPR 0, Cardiff 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Hull City 0, and Swansea City lead Derby by 1 goal to 0. Boy, it's tight when you think Luton 39, Cardiff 41, Derby 41, Hull 42, Stoke 43, down at the bottom of the Championship are those teams who are above Plymouth. Wow. Anthony Taylor.
Okay, he's been booked already.
Palace are going to be down to 9. Gahey has now been sent off. A second Crystal Palace player has been sent off. Eddie Nketiah, and now Mark Gahey, as we have 12 minutes of added on time.
This is extraordinary. Again, it was one of those ones where I think the players just go for the ball. Gahey's not been vicious there. Gahey doesn't seem the other player coming in. He's just going to take the ball And I'm trying to see who has it ran in front of him. I'm guessing it was Solimarch. I'm not sure who it was that ran in front of him, but he's walking off now. He knew as soon as that yellow card came out that it was going to be, that wasn't actually, it was number 8, wasn't it?
Gruder.
And I've seen it again, and you've got to say, Gahey can't argue. His legs up there, his studs are showing slightly. I still don't think it was deliberate or malicious, but if your studs are up that high and you make contact, it's a yellow card, stick on. Wow, what 12 minutes we've got now.
Well, Gahey is walking not at the side of the pitch, he's walking on the pitch, so he really is taking an eternity to get off the playing surface, so the game can't restart. Verbruggen is so angry with him. He's been screaming and bellowing at him, telling him to hurry up and get off. Brighton are going to make another change, because of course they can do that now with a concussion substitute, because Ward coming on for his first Premier League appearance since May. He's only made one appearance this season, and that was against Norwich in the League Cup. So Pfeiffer is the player who's going to be coming on for Brighton, and we're into the second minute of 12 to be added on. So we'll be getting very, very close to Sports Report with the 10 minutes that remain on this extended derby game here at Selhurst Park. And Palace down to 9. Cross comes in from the right, the header just wide, out for a goal kick. John Southall watching West Ham Bournemouth.
West Ham 2, Bournemouth 2. We're into 6 minutes of added time. Both sides still going for this. Semenyo, great chance, saved by Areola with his legs, and Bowen's just curled one over. West Ham still looking to win it, clipped in by Bowen, but the flag is up. West Ham 2, Bournemouth 2.
Ipswich Wolves, the latest from Pat Murphy.
It's 2-1 to Wolves. We're in the first of 7 added minutes, and Wolves keeping the ball expertly. They lead 2-1.
So there is the change. Matt Pfeiffer coming on, and it is Hinchelwood who is the player who has gone off. There's been a goal at Sheffield Wednesday. John Bennett.
A massive goal for Hull City. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Hull City 1. A header into the back of the net. I think it's Charlie Hughes who got it. It would take Hull City 4 clear of the drop zone. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Hull City 1.
Fleetwood 0, Swindon 3 is the latest score in League 2. Anxious times for Crystal Palace supporters here at Selhurst Park. There are 2 balls on the pitch at the moment. Verbruggen is the player who's going to actually come out and go a long way to knock it out of play so Brighton can maintain their attack. Here is Van Hecker, passes the ball short, cross comes into the penalty area, cleared by the Crystal Palace defence, and then Will Hughes, well, I thought had wrestled Baleba to the ground, but the decision has gone in favour of Crystal Palace, and Oliver Glasner is keen for the crowd to whip up the atmosphere.
Yeah, he needs to keep them going because his players are going to get tired now. They're down to 9 men. They've not just lost players, they've lost important players as well. I mean, Nketiah was brought on to go and run the channels and take the pressure. Well, he's off now. And then your major centre half, Ludagu Gahey, he's off as well now. So there are a lot of players out there are tired. When they lose the ball, it's quite simple. They've got 8 defenders, absolutely everybody back, and 1 goalkeeper behind them, and they're just trying to hold on till the end of this game.
That goal for Hull City, incidentally, now takes them above Stoke and Derby down at the nether regions of the Championship. This is BBC Radio 5 Live, Sports Extra, the World Service and BBC Sounds app. We're in the 94th minute, and we've got 12 minutes of added on time as Gruder heads it on. Gruder accelerates. Gruder looks to try and deliver the ball. No, he hangs on to it in the penalty area, and now he tees up Pfeiffer. The shot, though, was blocked. Crystal Palace, everybody now back doing their little bit after the sending offs of Nketiah and Gahey. In comes the cross. Hughes with a header away. Hook goalwards, missed. Pulled back. Baleba hits it, and he drills it off target. Rifles that ball left-footed, off target, goal kick. Sheffield United had a chance to go back to the top of the Championship. It's finished at Oxford now. Chris Coles.
A chance they haven't taken. Oxford 1, Sheffield United 0. A rare away defeat for the Blades, but a big win for Oxford. Just their second in 12 matches, given to them by Siriki Dembele's first half close range finish. Sheffield United stay second. Oxford 4 points clear of the relegation zone. Oxford United 1, Sheffield United 0.
It's finished Leyton Orient 0, Wigan Athletic 0. So still Wigan are yet to win since Ryan Lowe took charge. That's 2 draws and 2 defeats. We'll get as many full-time scores in as we can. with still 7 minutes remaining as we head towards Sports Report. This is Van Hecke. Van Hecke could be in trouble here. He's upended Kamada. He's already walking. He's already walking. It's another yellow card for Van Hecke. And there comes the red. And it is the third dismissal of this frantic derby game here at Selhurst Park. And he runs down to the Brighton dressing room. He's certainly not taking his time to leave the field of play. Palace are down to 9, Brighton are down to 10.
It's mayhem, absolute mayhem. Remember, none of these have been straight red cards. They've all been double yellows, so it's not been a grotesque, ugly game full of vicious tackles, but it is 9 against 10. And what a relief that'll be for the Crystal Palace players, because they were under severe pressure there, even though not many clear-cut chances had been created by Brighton.
I wasn't even sure if it was going to be the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity.
To be honest, it could have been red. It could have been red, but it wasn't. It was a second yellow that the referee gave there. And again, I don't think it was deliberate, but he just threw a lazy leg in, took the player, not the ball, that's it, gone.
So he'll be suspended for the Leicester game at home next weekend. Gehi and Nketiah, for their sending-offs, will be suspended for the trip to Manchester City next weekend. Now, this is a free kick here for Crystal Palace. Ben Chilwell is going to take it. Over 25 yards out from goal, he hits it left-footed, it's over the top of the crossbar. Full time at Hillsborough, John Bennett.
Massive win for Hull City. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Hull City 1. 4 home league defeats in a row for Wednesday for the first time since 1972. Charlie Hughes with a brilliant winner in injury time to take Hull 4 points clear of the drop. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Hull City 1.
And Bristol City have beaten Watford by 2-1. And they are now into the playoff positions in the Championship. This is 5 Live. We're deep into injury time. There are no other latest scores to tell you about around the country. As João Pedro for Baleba. Great noise inside Selhurst Park as the ball goes out of play for a Brighton throw. Full time at West Ham, John Southall.
West Ham 2, Bournemouth 2, 1-0 to Bournemouth at half-time. 2 second-half goals in 7 minutes turned the game for West Ham. Fulkrug with the first, a thumping header, and Bowen with a terrific second to put West Ham ahead. Evan Nielsen with his second level things up. Both could have won it. Semenyo and Bowen both going close, but it's finished West Ham 2, Bournemouth 2.
Here is Dunk for Brighton and Hove Albion. Passes the ball out wide. Still they have that man advantage despite the sending off of Van Hecke. As the ball is rolled into the path of Baleba, he clips it long and clips it too long, and it will go out of play for a goal kick. Let's get news of that Bristol City win then for Hamish Marshall.
It was 2-1, more nervy than expected after a late Watford goal, but City are into the top 6 thanks to first half goals from Ross McCrory and Naki Wells. Watford's playoff push is surely over.
Our Preston North End still unbeaten at home in 13 games now. Katie Smith, it's finished.
They are, but they were held 1-1 here. Stoke pegging it back, deserved equaliser from the spot, converted by Baker, so that ends Stoke's 4-match losing streak on the road, keeps them 2 points clear of the drop with 7 to go. Preston stay just 7 points from danger. It's just that single win for them in the past 7. 1-1.
Derby's winning run has come to an end, Molly Stevens.
Yep, 1-0 Swansea win. Ji Sung-om, the goal scorer, their first shot on target, and might just keep them clear of the relegation scrap. As you say, the winning run over for Derby. They sit in 21st, level on points with Cardiff, who occupy the last space now in the drop zone. Swansea 1, Derby 0.
Bradford City have beaten Crewe by 2-0. They are the new leaders of League 2, as we have got about 3 minutes of added on time remaining of the minimum 12 to be played. Brighton lose the ball, Devaney towards Kamada. Kamada skips over one challenge, and the referee doesn't give the free kick on this occasion as the ball rolls out for a Brighton throw.
And Kamada knew that the referee knew, so he got up very, very quickly as well. The referee, it's actually turned out to be quite a tough one to referee this one, but we will watch it match of the day tonight because you're going to see a lot of different opinions about the sending offs.
We'll bring you as much live reaction as we can in Sports Report. Here is Adingra, and Adingra doesn't keep the ball in play. It will be a goal kick. Fleetwood 0, Swindon Town 4 is the latest score in League 2. 2 minutes of added on time remaining. Great noise inside Selhurst Park. Maybe less so at Portman Road where it's finished. Pat Murphy.
Ipswich 1, Wolves 2. The roof fell in on Ipswich in the last 20 minutes after Delap gave them a first half lead. Sarabia equalised. Sarabia then laid one on for Strand Larsen to make it final score. Ipswich 1, Wolves 2.
Carlisle United have given themselves hope. They've come from 2-0 down. They have actually beaten Newport County by 3-2, the bottom club in League 2. What a frantic afternoon it's been.
And it has been, and Munoz is the latest one to go down with cramp there. And I don't think he was acting, I think he really has done a pair of work. Of course, he is the man that's going to grab some of the headlines that are left after the sending-offs, because he's got the winning goal at the moment.
Cardiff City, it's finished at Queen's Park Rangers, and they're a club in trouble. Charlotte Richardson.
QPR nil, Cardiff nil. QPR had the better chances. Paul Smith denied in both halves, while Yusuf Select will regret not testing the keeper when he crafted space inside the box for the visitors. Defences cancelling each other out. QPR nil, Cardiff nil.
Rangers nil, Hibs 2 is how it's finished at Ibrox. So they are, well, Celtic are 13 points clear with 7 to play. This is Dunk for Brighton. Ball goes in, headed out by Lerma at the back for Crystal Palace. By my watch, we've got about 60 seconds remaining.
No, it's going to add a wee bit more on top of that 60 seconds because there was a cramp there, but not much more. And for all the fact that we've had all these problems and all the sending offs and etc., Brighton have scored, have shown very, very little up to creating chances in this latter period of the game.
March is going the long way around. Baleba tries to get it through the middle, but that's cleared by Deveni. But Crystal Palace aren't breaking too much. They're going to just keep their position and hold their line. 15 seconds remain. Dunk passes the ball out wide. This is Ayari. Looks to clip it forward. Stopped by Hughes. Full time at Birmingham. Tom Gale.
6 different blue goal scorers. Victory on Tuesday at Peterborough secures promotion. Full time, Birmingham 6, Barnsley 2.
Yep, they're on the brink. Birmingham City, they're at Wembley next weekend as well. Crystal Palace here on the verge of their first league double over their arch rivals since 1932-33 in the old 3rd Division South. The celebrations will be wild unless Brighton can conjure up an equaliser in the 13th minute of stoppage time. In goes the cross. Oh, what a save by Henderson, his near post. Behind it goes for a corner. Still we play on at 1 minute past 5.
Well, phenomenal save there because he's had to come out. There was little space to get it past him, but it's up to the goalkeeper to close that angle, and we may well have a corner, and this must be surely the last action of the game.
Mark Chapman standing by at Aintree for Sports Report. And there's a lot to squeeze in before our next commentary at Villa Park. Palace are leading by 2-1. The keeper's gone up the Bruggen.
The keeper's on the keeper.
He's standing and trying to get in the way of Henderson. This will be the last bit of action. Palace lead 2-1. In comes the corner from the right-hand side. It's a deep one. And then the header down into the ground. And then the ball is cleared. But it's a free kick, not the full-time whistle. But the Palace fans are still celebrating. In fact, Mateta raced onto the pitch and Glasner saying, calm down, calm down.
The referee was tempted to go and book Mateta for running on the pitch there and thought, wait a minute, it's been mad enough as it is. This ball's going to be kicked, and I'm sure the referee must blow his whistle.
They are baying for the final whistle. We are in the 14th minute of added on time. It's a slender lead, but there is the full-time whistle. It's a first double since 32-33. It's the first in the top flight. It was a crazy game. You'll hear about it all in Sports Report. But it's finished here at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace, who finished down to 9 men, 2. Brighton, who finished with 10 men, 1.